just make something. I mean, he has no food.
Yeah.
He has to get some semblance of units on the map. But I mean, yeah, it's about to be GG if it's not already.
Yeah, I mean, the Manchus still have to be used wisely, right? It's 1,000 coin. You can't just throw them away. But I mean, the Chinese units just being so cost-effective here. And yeah, the Arquebuss are not great units, but you get them in enough mass, and they're still a skirmisher, right? And so yeah, there's the game.
Mido takes at least
This is the
one.
important what he's doing.
Double spell damage and file. Click the button as well. Can pretty much make all of your cards free. Yep. Don't know whether you can actually do anything productive with that, but you can, I suppose, see what's in the Exarch and whether you need to do anything productive.
Another
Nebula Wish.
Nebula's exciting.
Nebula Wish? We Shaman now.
Yeah.
But again, this goes to show Suni's long-term planning, right? Matchup experience in a very niche matchup. Happy to leave the small minions just hanging around, living on board to preserve cards like Brawl for the endgame state where you know that threat of Nebula can come down, because you can do a very good Nebula Shaman impression with this deck.
You can. Yeah, I've actually done it. It's exciting. Unfortunate for Dizdemon that he had to play the Woodland Wonders to make space to get the Nebula in his hand. There may have been other plays, but you weren't going to find him in the time if there were. Like, instinctively, you play your cards out, you put a board up, and you can play the Nebula later. It's fine. Not much later, but later.
I mean, presumably you want to get the ship launch in there, right? Like, you wait for the board to be cleared, and then you get the ship going with maximum board space.
Yeah, and if you've got enough spell damage or files, will help you play the Nebula as well, so... Is there one reduction or two in the ship? Things blurred slightly. There's only 4 cards left is why I'm asking.
Yeah, it should be 2. Yeah, because I don't think the ship has been launched at any point. Definitely both reactors have died. I don't think it was launched in between that happening, so it should be 2.
So he can launch a Nebula at will.
Oh look, holy shit, chat. You gotta go to the... You just have to go to the nearby pizzeria and buy something to drink.
3 spell damage with the files as well.
I'll be back.
Yeah, 814. Large lag.
My pardons.
That's all of the ship, I think.
Yep.
Alright. Double Nebula coming up.
Rag, okay. Rag, okay.
2 more.
Oh no, the Octosari! The Octosari! Oh, he's so dead! He's finished! Pack it up!
Oh no. 21 damage from the Octosari. Shooting with a little smirk.
Remaining cards! Death! Forget that it says swipe.
Gotta be careful, hang on. No, it's 8, it's fine, it's a million. It's fine.
You have to guarantee that it dies.
Yes.
Which is slightly less trivial than it sounds.
I mean, Brawl's fine, right? If it doesn't die, it hits you for 8, who cares?
Yeah. What was that? I didn't even see what that card was before. Okay, okay, alright, we got there, we got there. Kablam.
Enjoy.
Nebula giveth, Nebula taketh away. You get to pick 2 rags. The auto picker picks you outright death. 2-1 to Suni.
That's
moving on.
That's not giving and taking away. That's just death. That's just taking away.
Just death.
That really think it gave you anything.
Well, you know, to be fair, like one of the main sources of that expression is life giveth, life taketh away, right? Like life does also end in death. So I think if we can apply it to that, we can apply it to drawing Octosari cards. No?
Sure, but should we?
there's lots of things that we say that we shouldn't. I don't think that's the debate here.
Yeah. You could enjoy that game, probably, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
at some point, you said the words, yes, I'll cast Hearthstone for a living. That's probably something that you shouldn't have said.
I never said those words. People just keep asking me to do it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
This wasn't by choice. This wasn't by my choice. Just bullied into it. But there's a rogue left for Sunni.
There is.
And it's the
There is a
pirates.
rogue left for Sunni.
It can definitely lose to these two decks.
Yeah, Pirate Rogue as well is kind of the lesser of the two decks that we've seen so far. Sorry, not the less common of the decks. I'm not saying it's the lesser of the two decks, even though I kind of am saying that if we're being 100% honest. But again, it makes sense in a few lineups just because of some of the good matchups that it has against Death Knight, for example. Rogue has to work a little bit harder in that matchup. The Cycle Rogue, you have to rely on everyone's least favorite card, Incendious, to get that matchup over the line, which is never where you really want to be with the Rogue. So again, like I think Pirate Rogue does make sense in some lineups. I'm just not necessarily sure whether this is a well-rounded. So I was talking about this with someone last night about how if we go back to the days of Pavel winning like every tournament for the best part of a year and a half that he entered, Pavel was actually very, very well known for these 2-2 lineups. Do you remember this being a thing where he would actually deliberately, as kind of a character trait, bring two lineups mashed together to a tournament quite often, where he'd have like two mid-rangey minion decks, two control-y decks, or like two combo decks and two outright aggro decks or whatever. And that was kind of his go-to strategy for a lot of the tournaments. And it's not something we've seen a lot of players do an awful lot since then. But that's the kind of vibe that I get from this this Sunni lineup.
I mean, it's an uncounterable lineup. It just has to be good enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, the problem is you might counter yourself is the issue.
Yeah.
No one's going to be able to target your lineup if it's doing that, because you can't target the style of lineup if it doesn't have a style. But again, if it doesn't have a style, you're also not targeting your opponents. You're just hoping your decks are better than theirs.
Right.
Which is fine if you do it right. But we are so used to, this is a lineup, this is the deck we might counter, or I'm all in on trying to beat aggro generically or something, that someone who is just mashing decks together is a little bit confusing to me these days. And that's not in a he's done it wrong, so I'm going to use a caster word confusing. I'm just literally confused by it. He does have a very, very good hand as well. Depending on what the comet does. It's called Lucky Comet for a reason. Is he lucky?
One of my favorite parts of our testing session as casters was you say it is Lucky Comet is lucky. Well, it certainly is for Raven, apparently, because Raven was surprised to learn that it wasn't guaranteed to give you Buccaneer off it every single time.
What, he played for like 3 hours, then goes, it's bugged.
Yeah, no, like, I could no. The conversation was like, I think maybe Darroch, someone else, who just like, oh my god, you hit Buccaneer every time, and Raven literally just goes, well, yeah, it's guaranteed.
Superb. I think I missed that bit. I took a very short break in the middle. I think it was probably then. Amazing. It's amazing it's not me that's being ribbed for the practice sessions for once. Although we won't talk about me playing the Pirate Rogue, right? That stays in the testing.
See, it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Set sail for sail.
We've got to think about the impending threat of a water elemental.
Yeah,
Didn't get one though. Ends up being Ice Barrier. Ice Barrier burns away. I think Sunni is feeling pretty chill with his life right now. Board cleared. Buccaneers in play. Priest off board. I hate to break it to the Priest enjoyers. I did promise you all an update on the off-stream game that Dizdemon played so we could get the accurate Priest win rate. He lost that series, losing twice with Priest, which means before this game, Priest was actually 1-7 in the tournament so far.
Oof.
That's not.
Had a really
that's not
bad
great.
run.
That's not great news, is it? As our resident Priest defender, do you have anything to say for yourself?
No, I'm the Hunter defender. I may have the same issue coming up, but I'm the Hunter defender this week.
Okay.
I picked Ryan because of his Hunter.
Okay.
I also suspect that I might have to. No, it's gonna be fine. He's gonna win. Doubling down, I've decided.
Doubling down in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary has never gone wrong for anyone.
Uh-huh. Oh, I want to see a Wind Fury on a blatantly non-Wind Fury situation, but there we go.
I didn't mind it, honestly, yeah. Push 10, trade the 5-2. Seemed okay
Yeah,
to
that
me.
was what I was looking at.
Yeah. I was very much okay with it.
Okay. I mean, he does have location for that anyway, so there's always a 5 attack minion next turn if he wants it, but
That's true,
Or to the
yeah.
bigger board.
With the mini scoundrel, you've got tons
Yeah.
of mana if you want with the weapon.
this candle's so much mana. It really is so much mana. Oh, goodness.
Exiled one without
But you gotta.
So you're making another attempt at a large board, but this time his opponent's got all of the keys to making it the bigger board himself.
I am
as well as
back
already having a head
with a
start.
snack.
I think soon he's going through.
And a boat. A mighty boat. Oh, okay. I mean,
My
when
blood
you're
sugar
running,
should
you're
have said
running,
no, but my
right?
mouth,
Like,
yes.
come on. What else did you expect was going to happen?
Was there a lethal here?
Not a guaranteed one, I don't think.
No, probably not. Okay. Ah, well, this does look like Suni has put it together, Sottle, right? He was impressive against Maxi.
Kanon.
Maxi was also impressive, was his problem in that one.
Yeah, take the face attack. Yeah. Either it goes face and you have lethal, or it
I like how he
trades
said
and
that
you
it
trade.
goes face.
Absolutely
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine either way. Oh! Oh! Oh, the soothsayer nearly came up so clutch. Hang on.
The pizzeria is
Go on.
close.
What's
It's
he
another
looking for?
building, but the stairs are long.
Soothsayer again? Soothsayer again was lethal, right? Because he just gets 2 more acupunctures, and the Soothsayer would have cost 2?
But he has to not die himself.
Oh shit, yeah, no, you're right. You are absolutely correct.
I am definitely right. He would need the Taurus, right, which isn't the priest card that redirects the
Taurus?
damage. The one that redirects the damage. The demon
Yeah.
hunter.
Well played.
Okay,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Nice celebration.
So he couldn't get that.
His
So is
dice
there
is
any
inner
other
demons,
methods?
the
You need an 8.
acupuncture.
Is there any other method from the priest hero power to be able to get 8 damage there? Even if it involves like the next card in your deck, can you get another Soothsayer?
Oh,
Draw
can you get
one card.
Zephyrus?
Possibly. You don't have enough mana then for the outs though. So so you're saying if the top card of your deck was the Zephyrus instead of the acupuncture.
Okay,
just to
but
break
if you think so, I believe 8 Husk compared to 7.
or an early kill. And because they both play the character, they're going to be
Oh,
very
not
aware.
the
So watch
sauce.
double jump intercepts.
Yeah,
like after the aerial comes out.
specifically off the back of the down tilt hit with fixed knockback. So we saw that one. That's going to be another stock down from Mono. Mono is very good for what it's worth.
Yes.
And he just had his birthday celebration a few days ago.
Happy
as
birthday.
Well, so get to see that one going. That's a whiff punish, but Yoshi's pretty heavy.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a kill. Pop up, gets it anyway. Very nice, closing out, stopping the damage there
Annihilates
from
the Shy
Mono.
Guy.
Back here looking wonderful. Amsa's making great use of that. It's going to make it really hard to time a
Course, it's a card game
counterattack.
now as
A lot of
well,
Yoshis might
but it's a
react
card
to getting
game.
your armor hit and then attacking, but back
kind
here's
of
going to
like
mess
it's
that
not
up.
10 years old.
That's another one, too. Yeah, and I think this is the... Oh, never mind!
Big swing.
Happy birthday! I was going to say, I think
Happy
like
day.
the way that this matchup goes, okay, you do get the tech off the wall, but it's not even going to matter.
Yeah.
Fighting out of that armor is causing a lot of problems for Mono, even though the stock count doesn't really reflect that yet.
And you can see there, Amsa actually forced a high hit out of the armor so that he could then get his own down
Right.
tilt for the knockdown. So just great understanding of how to use Yoshi overall.
Oh, hang
And
on,
that's
let him
I'm
cook.
sorry,
That's
dude,
another
just
stock.
Yoshi
catching him out of the double
No, I'm
jump
kidding.
once again, using the percent to his advantage.
Could it
Really
be?
nice for Mono.
Could it be? Oh, okay. Lands back on stage. Oh, the jab could have ended it all, but the
Oh,
down
wow.
smash covers it regardless. Amsa made a couple slip-ups there in the first
Yeah.
game, but Mono looked really good.
Yes. Yes, and I want to call attention to something else Amsa did that really helped seal that game for him, and that was the stage guarding when Mono's on the edge.
Right.
Doing forward airs at varied timings to either catch the armor or to set out a jab
Whatever, let's
or
buy some
down
nachos.
smash to try and trick up
Have
those
some more
timings. Just
money.
being really tricky to make it hard. Oh my gosh, the damage.
There's no pain on either of these Yoshi's faces, man. Yeah, I think the fair is a really good call out as well. A lot of what Mono has been doing are kind of drift
So in
backs
10
and
years,
stepping
we'll see
the
Yoshi
overshoot
do
from
again.
Amsa, and it's working out for like a couple
Yoshi
two pieces like that. You do catch
Just
Amsa out of the
the
sky, but what more do you get after this?
And Mono got a bunch of really nice up airs right there. Just catching Amsa again and again and forcing Amsa to make a different choice so he could finally get pushed off stage.
I'm honestly shocked he got a full
Bing,
stop
bing,
from that.
bing,
That
Yeah.
was
bing,
really
bing.
good.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah, that was Perry City for sure, but Amsa wasn't biting.
And you can see, like, again, these Yoshis just playing around their innate characteristics so well, not
Fuck,
rushing
there's
in
no
on the shield
nachos,
pressure,
man.
waiting, walking, you know, because the Yoshi can't jump out of shield. You're going to see counterplay that you're not going to see other characters normally do because they're so familiar with their own character.
Yeah, when you have two characters who kind of force you to
Aw,
fundamentally
man.
play Melee in a different way, fighting against each
That
other,
thing is old,
it makes
man.
for
Only
a
when
really
I'm-
wacky
when I'm
matchup.
looking
And of course,
all over.
we did run it right back to Yoshi's story here. Mono with the first lead of the set, looking really strong still.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing
I've
Amsa
never seen
getting
Yoshi
like
do that
these
before.
one hits, not really leading to a punish. Mono's actually doing more damage off of his openings
Yeah.
right now. Looks like that might be the kill. DI'd out.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so
Mono,
good
yeah, kind
that
of
he
cut off
brought
the
up
angle a
Yoshi
little
from
bit
bottom
early by
tier
going for that fair.
to
but
top 10 tier.
either way,
And now we're seeing some forward air approaches, I guess, making sure that we don't let the other Yoshi try and jump in or do a double jump
He is
cancel
so fucking
nair
good.
in.
It was just a question of when
yeah,
he
it
was going to
seems
win the
like it's way
tournament.
better
And he
off
won
of
2 of them.
going for tech chasing
Amsa
as
did
well, and you
it!
just send the forward air
Amsa
instead of
did
going
it!
for a jab, which you're getting minimal damage
And
off
there
of
was
that
the
anyway.
forward air on
You
hit
get him,
on
there's
the
nothing they can
armor,
do
still got
against
a
the-
follow-up out of it.
Skill
He's dead.
phone, 70%
Perfect timing on that double jump
damage
from
combo.
Amsa, brings it back. Now the way Amsa started bringing that back was with multiple back airs in a row.
Yeah.
Really just spamming that move and mixing that up with the
Oh,
forward
Oh,
air.
this guy's crazy.
Okay, hang on. I was about to say,
See,
I'm
still
completely
impressed.
wrong about jab reset if Amsa just gets a full combo off of it, but wow, nice patience.
And there's some good stage guarding from Mono Theon with the up smash. No platform for you. Just covers everything right there.
Once again, last stock, it really feels like, from like a strict analysis perspective, they're both just running at each other, right? Like it's not a lot of defensive play aside from the drift back fairs that we've been seeing a lot out of Mono. Oh my god.
Ooh, tried to bait maybe an aerial in there. But again, neither one of them's committing super hard. They're usually trying to space the aerial or undershoot a little bit. A little too aggressive. That's funny. That happens even to Yoshi players. A lot of other
Come,
characters
we don't
jump
have
at Yoshi and they
now.
learn to
Come
stop
on.
that.
Yeah.
You stop doing that right now. If you don't have time, you don't have true frame damage or for keep the combo going, the Yoshi.
Four wagons. He's sending 3. slamming
Forsen
down
is playing
two.
Hearthstone,
Stage
building
one.
arena.
Again, a very coin-heavy.
The brain rot never settled.
How much coin does he have left in that mine by his TC?
But I guess because he does have that one scrim card thingy, he might be okay eating through all of his mines. Like even if he doesn't push out a whole lot, he might just be okay. He's
And I
giving
guess
you McHouse.
that mine behind his market is still pretty safe, and he's got quite a bit of coin in it. So I mean, he's not at risk right now.
I'm thinking about this meme.
Catch. Ooh, he's gonna get a Bill raid. That's nice.
Did that. I can tell actually. Hearts needs to thank the heart
Smart move and
for this
getting out of it in time.
incest and pedophile joke.
Oh man.
It makes Forza spit out his water.
I think who's ever able to have the higher unit comp and use them better is going to win. And I really think that Azad is going to be able to.
It's always
have
dangerous with
just
those
such
jokes.
a robust unit composition with the the shipment of every time he'll have 3 Ulan.
It's one shatter
a bunch
done.
of war wagons, which are just so strong, especially against France. They just counter so well against what France wants to do. And then I think Azad's gonna have just very comparable amount of skirm on the board. So
this is gonna come down to awareness and micro. Like whoever catches the other's army for 8 skirms for easy. That's gonna be huge against the dragoons. But
I think that and I think Meta's smart to do so. He needs to stop making
oh wow.
curse.
Wow.
Engages there on the goons and the Ulans.
And
they're
the
classic.
So much
Ulans are-
speed.
So much hand damage. But oh
Yeah.
man, the splash attack of the Kerr is also coming in handy. And this is gonna
But
look
the-
like a really good engagement for
Well, that's the same attack as Gendarmes, but they have 3 times
What a
less
clean
HP.
piece out. Oh, that was so bad for Mino.
That toe is swelling up right now. Good thing he has 13
Oh, wow,
big
that
toes.
was- Like I knew that was gonna go in favor of Germany, but that was ugly.
And I think that's all she wrote.
Yeah, that's game 4,000.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
the 3-0, but close, as it were.
PPMD, one of the gods from Smash.
just how interesting that was. I really want to shout out, the differences in their play. Amsa with the back airs, and then eventually the down airs just to rack up more damage. He edge canceled the down airs to maybe up air or just get positioned, so because down air can have a lot of lag. And then he had the forward air stage guard, which Mono was doing some to his credit. He was doing a great job with it. But and also Amsa getting that first early kill with the down tilt out of the double jump lag, and you saw Mono approaching very differently after that point, which of course opens Amsa's other options to back stuff up more.
We really didn't see a lot of the down tilt at all after that first stock. Like, it was used in neutral, sure,
Yes.
but like it wasn't really used as like I'm going to establish an edge guard.
And no
position
down
with it.
smash either, really.
Yeah.
Very common stock ender. You also saw the Yoshis go up and around that, which of course brings the forward air out more. And then on Mono's end, he was making great use of the up smash, maybe a little more to a greater extent than Amsa was even, to get those
That is
kills
crazy
and just
for
knock
posting
out of
this.
armor. So I mean,
Keep
Mono
it
was doing a lot of things
300.
right. I just really wanted, and then at a certain point in that second game, he was hitting harder combos than Amsa.
Yeah.
So certainly, again, like you said, a lot of things close, but I just wanted to shout out some of the difference makers.
For sure, for sure. I mean, it's crazy to see like someone again, like this is around when you won Apex, right? Like Amsa was just starting to come up as a
He was
top-level player.
getting around top 10ish, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you think about those types of like trajectories from those players? Like, would you have ever predicted Amsa to have been as high of a level of a player as he
Honestly,
is now?
my take is I'm surprised it took him so long, if anything, because
Okay.
once you get to like top 10, it really just is a question of like, how motivated are you? How much do you have the will to win? How much do you love the game? But if you're getting top 10, you're already, a lot of the way there on all that
Right.
stuff, right? So it just becomes a question of, can you figure out these other things? Can you keep doing it, Because some people, they get ranked in their state and then they start messing up. They start not doing the stuff that got them there. Or they not maybe
Sure.
fine. But for Amsa, I was always so shocked because he was just about to get there when everything shut down, and so that took some years off for him.
Dude, it's him, and I also think Axe was the other one. He
Yes.
was so close to like touching the
Yes.
ceiling,
Some of the aggro priests that we've seen throughout the last couple of days.
Yeah, I feel like
Look at
lineup-wise,
his dog.
I do lean Fury as Tuttle has selected, but picture-wise, I mean, come on.
I mean,
Look at Kaboom.
It speaks for itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, looking at that, it's just look at Gaboom. I'm not even looking at Gaboom. I'm looking at Ledogo.
What a curse
Yeah,
Theo
fantastic.
emote.
and the French region in general has always represented very, very strongly And yeah, if Kaboom is able to.
Which are, again, maybe a lot of them.
Yeah.
You explained what at home, what that might mean.
So the axe effect, I mean, was you know, an Arizona phrase, an Arizona chant, but also his combo video that was so eye-opening to people in like 2009. I don't even know if everyone in the chat was born then. Don't say your age if you're, you know, if you're too young. But so, you know, it was so eye-opening. I mean, he's really revolutionized the character so much, and he still continues to do so in some ways. I mean, just a couple years ago, I was watching him use up smash to try and call out Marth down to an absolutely maniacal decision. But no one is going to try that but him.
Of course,
and,
of course.
And yeah, so he's wonderful, and I always look forward to seeing what he can do. And it warms my heart, you know, in a day of so much optimization with J-Chu coming up as well. You know, my been around the block heart still roots for the people that have been around.
That's right.
So of course I want J-Chu to succeed, but also, you know, let's have some friendly Pikachu competition. Let's see them both do well.
Just got a win over Sunsei today as well, which is pretty impressive. But
well played.
Let's talk about some of what we have for our next match. This is Magi versus Plup.
He looks always so rough.
Such the biggest anomaly in Smash to me, right? Like,
and I talked to them both actually before this.
What'd you get from them?
Yeah, so with Magi, she was saying she was very, she felt pretty good about the game. She said I think the last time she played Plup, she beat him, but then he 6-0'd her in Grands, so she's really hungry for the run back, and so that's kind of what she's looking at going into this. And then for Plup, he says he's here missing rivals of Aether 2. So, but the thing is, Plup is a phenomenal player, and so, you know, it really, as they say, it really could go either way.
That's true. I mean, we're talking about a Genesis champion.
Yes.
In Rivals of Aether.
I mean, he's good at so many games, and he can be, and he's shown up well in Melee without even playing as much too. He kind of just has that knack.
Yeah.
You know, there are players that just have that knack that can just keep coming back, right?
Such a complete anomaly to me as a player, right? Like, last year it tipped off, what did he get, 3rd, 4th, or something like that? Like, very good showing. I think it was his first major of the year that he went to. If not first, then like within one hand on counting, you know? Crazy to see, but Magi has been, you know, one of those players who I think has consistently been on a come up.
Yeah.
Very easily top 20 in the world, if not better when she chooses to be, so.
This is important for the narrative, yeah, and this is a really interesting first stage for this matchup. She's going to be able to maneuver around.
I don't know, man. She's pretty good.
And aerials really well, to pressure in the corner
she
really well. But Falco is going to be able to get those good punishes, and if she does recover to the platform, going to make it much easier for the punish. We mess up our shine pressure, we miss our laser, but we still catch the up air. Magi classic. She is so known for the up air, uses it really well. Not too surprised to see that there.
Ooh, yeah, that platform height was super favorable for Magi as well, but let's see what happens when Plup gets the knockdown, right? Because Plup's not like super well known for the reaction tech chases, at least being as prominent as Jmook is at it, but he does get the job done here. Goes for the Nair and set
so
up
he's
reaction.
missed a few of the tech chases so far. He's going to need to at least go for a couple reads, maybe
shut
some
up
coverage,
as well.
try to cover out the tech in place and maybe get a roll, some of that coverage. Great edge guard for Magi. Sheik's up B is vulnerable for about 13-ish frames, so you can get out and get that punish. You want to always see more players doing that. Because sometimes people think Sheik's recovery, you have to wait for her to get on stage. That is not the case.
It is marketably worse when she does land on stage, though. So fortunately, Magi does have a couple options there. Great STI up to get out of the double jab as well. Yeah, Magi looks on point. This is the big thing, though.
Matchup, though, both.
Speak on this, like what do sets look like when you're playing against a patient
So right
player
there,
like this?
you need to think, oh, I had Sheik in the corner, and then I suddenly died. I need to still pressure Sheik in the corner. You have to make sure you really keep that in mind as Falco, And we can see Magi's actually, she's mixing up kind of sending it with lasers. So Plup actually dashed right there because Magi had been doing a lot of full send lasers, and then she actually switches it up, actually fades back with the laser. Plup runs in with the grab on reaction. Magi gets a kill off of it.
I love that laser too on the platform. Doesn't want to go like super insane mode on the side plat. Just run away, take the damage. You got about 40 from it. You might lose the stock here though, and it looks like Plup gets it.
So again, we're seeing that again in the corner. Very important. As you as Falco, you got to be so careful about pressuring in the corner.
Maybe.
Here we go again. See if the same
platform gets involved.
Yeah. Dude, these amazing events.
This is scary. How do you handle last stocks like this with the
Magi's
turnaround? Lost your
stuck
wallet.
around in the turn a couple times here. We're seeing a little more dash dancing. We're seeing a little less lasering, and Plup air dodges. really rough for both players. I actually think, you know, maybe, again, that we were by the edge there. That could actually, imagine I didn't full drift in with that nair.
Right.
Actually could have been a back throw if Plup didn't air dodge.
I mean, yeah, Plup
And he-
was playing the position like
And if he
perfectly.
had the air dodge back, or the wave dash back there, he might have actually gotten the kill.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what
Now the
Plup's
tech
got
chase
here.
this time. Goes for the read, no dice.
Yeah, and this was kind of a consistent thing we saw last year from Plup's very, very few performances of like, he'll get the knockdowns and like he's just so good fundamentally as
Yes.
a player that it doesn't really matter if he doesn't take it all the way to a full stock, whereas someone like J-Mook normally does.
Yeah, but you know, he needs to keep that punish going because Magi just hit a beautiful punish right there. And
Right.
awesome mid shorten. People are so much better at that now.
Wow.
Misses the
man.
fastball,
Like,
but
people
down air
do
picks it
dance.
up anyway.
What a
Or
hard
that-
call out
that,
too, like, because Magi had an option to tech there.
One-handed
Yes.
back
But
has
either
fucking
way,
policeman
three
are jerking it off.
Gets stuck with all the lasers.
One-handed 100.
Afterward, Magi gets the follow-up, and Battlefield is going to be a good pick for Plup. Just a wonderful Sheik stage. Get it moving around all the pressure right there. If Plup ever wants to reset, the platform is right there. Doesn't go to it though, and gets down aired because of it.
Edge guard position. Yep, this is like 30 plus frames of landing lag or something like that, so plenty of time for Magi to just rinse and repeat.
It's a longer jump, but it takes
He
longer
doesn't go
to
for
get
back
off
air. That's
the
going to be a
floor.
DI mix-up.
I
Could have gone for
press
back air, and that's what the
three, four
DI in would have covered, but instead gets
So
the
what's
kill.
the point,
Great
you
use
know?
of
Come
the
on.
Magi up air. They say, oh, and the double jump was far too high. Not sure what the play was there. Maybe an
Yeah,
air dodge,
gaps back
but
that
that's going to be an
back
easy
out,
cleanup
man.
for Plup.
Yeah, it does such a Falco classic, right? Burn the double jump a little bit early, and
Yeah.
suddenly I'm dead. Like,
Well, who
oh,
wants to
that's
go
it.
lowest
Yeah.
Falco? Maybe there's a needle. Maybe she grabs the edge. Maybe it was a call out, but otherwise, regardless, didn't work out.
Ooh, nice little dash back from Magi. Platform is brutal position run off, so you can avoid the slide off as well.
Needles might make him back. Yep, makes him come back.
Hang on. It did put Plup in tumble. Oh, what a wait. Down air? Yep.
Yeah, coming
Wow.
off the dash in, wave dash back. Magi had been getting so much off grab, so Plup tried to respect it. Dash attack going to get right under auto cancel back air. Auto cancel back air not going to give you a lot against Sheik, and you're seeing that off this tech chase here. Missing the tech again, getting
Wow.
punished.
Yeah, and again, look, like, takes the knockdown, but just, like, instantly up tilt and converts that into a full string.
And we're
right?
seeing
Like,
that off the missed tech as well. Magi may want to consider teching a little bit more. There it is, but maybe Plup was ready for it this time.
I think he wanted Magi to start taking.
Yeah,
Look at this.
so
PP.
now it
Hang
looks like
on.
he might be in the groove, might be reacting a little better. Does miss the platform one, but so much damage. One more opening could definitely be it. And goes under the laser. Magi tried to laser high to cover the jump, but Plup went low, and that's going to be the
Wow.
game.
Yeah, and I mean, like, what an automatic decision, right? Like, you just kind of laser as your panic, and Plup to just be like, low profile.
Whether he wins or loses, honestly, it's not like, oh, if I lost, I'll look at it and great. But if you win, I think it'll be exactly the same. We are going to see another, of course, double discover here, going with the ethereal from Gaboo. Just having
It's so
a
French.
ton of value. Like, it definitely feels like card draw's not going to be a problem for him going forward.
Yeah, really gonna be the mana available, and with Innervate and Coin, that'll help, you know, one time to get over the edge, but I'm curious when Gaboom will sort of pull the trigger here, whether he is gonna wait to sort of get out that Incendius,
You got
or
a
just
2
use it
to
with
sacrifice a
the-
1-1. You?
Look at this draw, actually. Not bad at all. Fury
Great
now
ball
with double
play.
Web Weaver. Does have Phoenix in hand as well. Missing a Shadow Step for anything truly devious, I think, so far. But still pretty decent draw considering there wasn't anything else really available that turn.
Yeah, I think next turn is the turn. Fury Hunter is gearing up for.
But Slip Seal is so bad. The tournament
and
started before
yeah,
I
no ability
woke
to avoid
up.
Insidious for Gaboom, so it's going to come down
8
to
PM.
Imperial Oracle, Dollhouse, probably Seabreeze Chalices, but sort of dependent on what gets drawn from the Oracles. But here we go.
Oh, early Asteroid. Yeah, here come the Web Weavers. Prep, not a bad pickup either, actually.
Yeah, being able to, you know, prep coin on your own Phoenix, get
Prep
a
coin
couple more
concede.
cards, and print a little bit of mana.
Yeah, O Manager, backstab's available as well. This is going to start getting a lot of work done very, very quickly.
Yep, each backstab represents another 2 cards.
This is rogue, right? Like this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
draw cards, play 100 of them, done. That's your turn.
Yeah, now this is rogue gaming, exactly.
Just turn 5, it could have been turn 4.
Nothing actually amazing from all this card draw right now. Obviously, it's just drawing cards is extremely strong, do not get me wrong. It does have the coin, or coins now for Incendious, and Fury Hunter just saying I'm just going to draw my deck and then build up for the finish in the next couple of turns. But nothing huge as of yet. But again, double Shadow Step.
And I think he would still like to get
There we go.
Giants
there's
in
a
play.
giant.
Okay,
yeah,
we got
yeah, that's what we were waiting for.
yeah, we got one out. And oh,
Being psychic, I can tell that Fury Hunter's deck
Yeah, almost certainly. Sorry,
is
handed it, right.
plays shittier.
did the coin
30 cards
so
than
it's
other.
not burn, I believe.
Players, yeah, other players would have found that play John's high with Giant faster, right?
Yeah. Yeah, really good turn from Fury, honestly. That was a bit spicy, especially because the
Being negative
longer
can
you're not
affect
hitting
just
the thing you're aiming
spiritually.
for, the more difficult it is to make sure you land it in these turns, right? So Fury Hunter down to a casual 6 cards on turn 5. Not bad at all. Gaboom's now going to have his fun with plenty of spell damage. Only a little bit of mana, though, but it's probably going to have to be a swipe in some respect, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, 3 spell damage, getting the extra
It's your
innervate to
phase.
go with the swipe is actually a huge deal because you can use both of them, swipe the
And just don't
giant,
go in your
lucky
face,
there's
you're not
only
gonna
one
win.
giant, swipe clears up all the little things, and then you can chalice to clean up the rest. So, actually able to get the clear here because of those 2 spells drawn from the Oracle.
Yeah, the difficulty, I think, for Gaboom is because everything's gone on this clear, the maximum spell damage, basically everything's got, and the locations will be on cooldown next turn. Well, Fury Hunter's got a few
wow.
cards in hand.
Wow.
So I didn't see this. Actually,
That's
giving
so
the extra
cool.
spell damage is enough to just get the swipe to 8.
Yeah, we saw the giant burnt there, and I do wonder at this point,
Gonna have to shadow step this shit.
probably feels safe here, but Fury did have an option to Shadow Step if he just wanted to go, be ultra safe. But I think you just want the plus damage effect, right? And just say, you know what, you've used the spell damage. I hope you don't clear it.
It's just turn 6.
Yeah, no
Just
chalices
consist.
spent though, so those will be able to get used. Can actually play a Mirdrasil first, and then
And
go all in
cappuccino
on
tasting
chalices.
candy. Bring the
But
Nisha.
it may just be depending on the draws from Fury. I think it's just
It's
enough
so
damage
milky.
because
Such a strong coffee
Moonstone
flavor.
Mauler with Thalnos is going to clean it up. You have the ability to
Yeah.
step twice and then Dubious Purchase.
How do you feel when I say cement?
Yeah, that's what I was
Chad?
going to say as well, right? Like the Incendious, you do look for Shadow Step sometimes with that card, but having the second Mauler with double Shadow Step available is just that. It does such a similar job, right? It's just fun. Yeah, Kaboom are doing everything that they can do here to hang on, get the board cleared as much as possible, but Fury just basically has the whole deck to work with because there's so many eruptions right now. So it's probably going to be double Shadow Step and then let's
Okay.
even eat the Imp, right, with the Phoenix.
You don't get her done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
with,
Thalnos eat the Imp.
Get her done.
Yeah, on the Phoenix.
Get her.
Looks, I'm not one for maths, believe it or not, but this looks like a lot of damage with no minions on board to soak.
Yeah, and that is an advantage of the Incendious, right? It's not like Kaboom was putting a bunch of stuff in play, but there is that ability to say, okay, well, the eruptions will, clear all your minions, whether or not they get to stay in my deck to use dispel damage, and then I get to make sure these asteroids go face. Not even getting the Thalnos out, actually, just to make sure he can draw his entire rest of the deck.
Yeah, there's just so much that's just fine with this turn. And Fury Hunter there, I think we just got a view of Rogue doing Rogue things, right? I think obviously Fury played very well. The end of
That
that
was
turn,
unstoppable.
he
Just
ended
like
up
a
being able to
diarrhea.
spot the giant
Travis
coming a little bit
artist.
late and ended up
Just
burning
hold
the
it in,
second
yeah,
giant.
sure.
But the setup just shows that, like, Fury's probably
bit too lost in it, and you're like, okay, Ariel,
Oh,
I can
two,
get a
right now.
starter. I can do something. I can push
there
you
was
off
like
stage,
circus, a
and then
Travis
you get
artist
grabbed and it's
diarrhea
over.
shit on 16 people.
And there's our first pickup for Sheik. needs to get this good damage here. Missed the second tech chase.
Wake Up Shine, yeah, that should work.
You don't see Wake Up Shine working as often these days as well. Everyone's so good at playing around the Uncle Punch training. Well, goes for the big grab again, expecting maybe a laser or a dash into plays. Big needles, and that should be the stock. This is sort of what I was saying that we expect to see a little bit more. Falco has a good recovery, but if it gets called out even a little bit, and now there's the grab, we're seeing the momentum shift.
I mean, here's the other thing, too, that I love adaptation-wise from Plup, right? He went down throw, immediate down smash, right?
Yeah.
For the entire set, he hasn't been getting more than like 3 off of tech chase lead grabs. You have good position. Take it, force the edge guard. That's where you're thriving so far.
The power shields are coming out now. F-tilt's coming out, which is so good. Could have worked there again as well from Plup.
I like those eyebrows actually on
Transformation comes in.
Agile.
The platform was a little bit awkward for Plup to get the needle angle that he was looking for.
God, I could
Plup's gotten a lot of
roast those if I
openings off
wanted
of
to,
back
but
in
I'm
this
not going
set.
to.
No dice there, but no
That's just
punish
some
either.
funny, you know?
Okay. Oh, Nair.
Big DI in, no up tilt.
The wall!
Stadium transformation. Oh my goodness, great lasers, but no real
Look at
punish
the
there.
stupid
Big
epic
forward air.
movie.
Yeah, it
But
seems
this
like Plup's
guy
coming down really quickly with
gets,
these aerials sometimes, and
pushed
that's
up to
happened
the
a
wall
couple
by the
different games.
hottest
Just caught
chick
Magi out, messing up the shield,
in college,
shines
which
again.
happens to be Mystique.
Wow,
We
yeah,
can't
this
afford
window
that.
was so
Shape
problematic for Magi, though.
Ah,
Finally just scraps her way out.
All right, it's gone, it's gone. What can we do?
Like, what do you want?
Yeah,
I
sustainable
want
energy no more. Let's see.
Right side of the stage on the respawn's been hard for Magi as well. Oh, that dare's way too high, and that's not going to give you much, even if it does hit at 0.
Wait on the platform. Oh, the quickest shield drop of all
Great
time.
DI
She
away.
had the hottest sex anyone's ever seen. Oh well.
It doesn't go for the downer, no punish, like she's been doing up air at these lower percents.
Plup's starting to speed up, though, man.
Yeah, he's
Look
looking
at
a lot
this.
more comfortable. He's looking a lot more informed here. And it's looking like the Plup show, the Plup Club here in the last
I
game.
think it's literally just let him hit the other character, right? Like
Yeah.
he gets to do his moves. You see him quick as lightning on platforms. This is where he's comfortable, and now he gets more in rhythm.
And
with
now
these
he gets out of the
grabs. There
range
it
this
is.
time of the shine. He
I'm not
knows he's
surprised,
not going
you
to
know,
get it.
it's
He
a
just
pretty
baits it out,
funny
gets the great
description
punish. And now
of
he's not
the
getting reversal
one
as
eyebrow.
well. Okay. So Magi's going to need to be even more clean. The forward tilt comes out yet again. That's
Gonna
even
be
coming
better.
out. Not going for
This
these
is
grabs,
like
going for the forward
a
tilt.
real
Okay,
turn
Magi's got to
game.
make this count. Nice, but F tilt off stage. Doesn't get the back air. Shouldn't matter.
And we can see the game slowing down a lot more in the neutral. And there's that back air. Get the early part of the up B.
I mean, it doesn't matter what year it is, BB. It's a last stock game 5, but this is one fair away for
Whoa.
Plup.
These down airs are getting really dicey. That's why we didn't go for it. Plup was
pit
expecting
fight.
it. There's the down
The
air
pit
again,
fight
getting
on the
punished
side,
again.
everything.
Pit fight!
Back air's going to hit high.
He's just
No,
leaving.
we're
I
not
don't
doing
blame
that.
you. Yeah,
Needles,
come on.
needles, needles.
The pit fight episode,
Oh, he's going in! Why is he doing that?
Oh, no!
Kevin, I'm scared!
Intense
Oh,
chicken.
awkward.
fried
Everyone
chicken.
knows where that hits.
Oh, the wall messed up again.
I'm getting
what is
out.
happening?
Are you getting back in? Did he kill? DI'd
Two
out.
hits.
I think he could have up-aired maybe if he went quicker.
Yeah, maybe. Big F tilt.
Oh my gosh.
All right, that's good damage. Lost all the needle charges as well.
Yeah, it's just like true neutral
Laser
now.
damage.
Oh.
This might be enough.
Probably
Good
laser
DI.
damage.
Oh!
Missed the up air,
Up air.
but
That's it.
Wow.
Magic gets it in 5 games. An absolute slobber knocker of a pit fight happens there, for better or for worse. And Plup, unfortunately, on the losing end of that
Yeah.
exchange. But wow, what a set.
And
oh my
what-
gosh.
Yes, and right at the finishing moment, Plup comes down, no aerial. He stole so many stocks from Magi, coming down out of the juggle with a forward air and just completely crushed her momentum. But she missed the up air, and she got the shine this time. Plup just didn't put out a move, or maybe he was going to land and grab or something, maybe F tilt. And then she gets the kill off of it, so that's why he didn't get the DI.
Crazy,
well played
crazy
to
stuff.
Magi. She earned it, but I mean, Plup was looking. He was up 2 stocks to 1. People need to remember that.
The
And he was
analyzer,
looking really good, getting more
30%
comfortable. So well played to
good
Magi to
analyzing.
bring that back.
I think there was a really clear shift as well in that last game from Plup's end, right? Like, he was just hitting Magi more,
Yes.
like we were talking about, right?
Getting
like,
the edge guards as well.
Yeah, and it was like, it led to the lead, like you had said. I want to see a replay later on if someone sends it to me, because I
So ideally, when you do that build, I think you want the fan hour one, because you get 8 mask from the big button rather than 1 Magyar Hussar. I think it's a bit stronger, but
Double
then you still
America.
one of these.
America.
Kabuna gets to go off a little
Yeah.
bit here with the spider. And plenty of card draw. Double Mauler just in hand. No shadow steps, of course. But
This guy
still
seems so French crippled, you know. He only
One step
fights
used,
normally in
so
France.
There's still potential to
Seriously?
draw into it, and yeah, actually getting the
You tell me
Falcons
if that's a
out
roast
this
or
turn,
not.
saying, we're gonna draw enough.
Yeah, Phoenix is kind of Shadow Step, right? Sort of.
Sometimes
So,
you're
yeah,
only
it will
born
do
to be
enough,
very
at least for now.
efficient
Asteroid's going in.
and survive in your own city you're born in. And some people
If
are
there's
really...
no further Shadow Step, though...
Like, I used to be more like
is
that.
a,
I was very bad adapting
oh,
to
there we
new
go.
cities.
I was going to say, that is a
I was
limited
an
number of
adventurer,
meteorites, right? It's not
going
like
to a new
it's,
school every year.
you know, the
People high school
huge
every year
numbers that
and
Rogue
experiencing a
can get to
new big
sometimes.
city in Sweden.
Yeah, picking up that other Shadow Step now,
But you
shuffling even
know,
more in.
poor
is about
adaptability
as good as
to
it's gonna get
the
for Kaboom. But not getting
very
the
different
giants
ways
slow
of
enough
living.
is got
For
to feel
example,
a
going
little
out and
bit disappointing,
drinking
at least.
in Gothenburg
Not getting the giants low
every
enough and not actually
weekend
drawing
was
more
one
than
way to do
one
things.
asteroid with the Thalnos out is pretty tough.
Fury not got any great way to clear this board outside of Pyromancer, which he probably wants
Working
to
hard and
save.
playing hard is such a normal thing to do. It's cringe.
But he also does want to kill this spider and probably the Thalnos, right?
Yeah, it turns out when you have 144
Yeah, there's
IQ, you're very
potential
adaptable, so
here
I have no
for, like,
problem
you know, Dirty Rat and then doing the
adapting
Pyropoison.
to
It's a bit of an awkward
new
spot to
cold
be in
shoulders,
because you want to
new
save the
strange things you
Pyropoison
don't
for
talk
giants.
about in big
But you
cultures and
don't
big
super want these
cities.
to stick around. And then again, life total's high enough you can just say, if there's no giants, fine, keep doing your thing.
Stockholmers are very
51.
cold-blooded, for example,
Yeah,
into work
also
their
as well,
friends.
with the Shadow Steps gone, this turn in
You have to
terms
be
of
like highly
additional
sensitive
card
people,
draw can only
HSPs.
do so much, right? If you look
Or
at board
something.
space, because I think that's important, there's only a 3, well, it was 3-2, now 3-1 on the board. There's not that much to trade away this board into, so there's not tons of board space. The Shadow Steps are gone. So I guess, yeah, Fury's saying, you know what, I've got enough health, this Ancient Evil's still down, doing some work with the armor, I'll just be fine. And because the goal really for Fury now is, well, as long as I don't literally die this turn, he can heal a lot of this up with the Pyro if he wants to. Because these minions aren't
Go back into my hand,
right?
you
There's nothing to
bitch!
trade into.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, in some ways, the Thalnos was representing the most potential damage.
Yes.
Just by virtue of the spell damage. So, yeah, this is Kaboom's rapidly drawing through the entire deck. I almost wonder if at this point it's not even that worth doing all the draws, right? If you like maybe want to give yourself more time to try and like maestra into
Good
an out.
fucking time to be alive on the weekends
Yeah, it's one of
for a
those weird
bunch of
situations, right,
Hearthstone
where
tournaments.
drawing cards is great, normally, but the problem here is this is what I would call effectively chip damage, right? Even though it's a lot of damage, it's still kind of chip damage, and all those asteroids are gone,
Actually,
and then Fury can just heal it back up,
those.
and then, well, you've not got any more in the deck, then you're relying on Incendious, or as you
It's
said,
gone
the
like,
hero,
it's
of
gotten
course,
so
from Maestro.
bad. We're going to go
So
2 laps now,
it's
you
just
know,
a
the
bit,
clock.
maybe,
Or 4,
I'm not saying this
maybe.
is easy, but
I don't see
maybe it was
If I wake up at like 10
maybe
p.m.
more of a
start
goal
the hard
to
step throughout the
try and do
night,
it
and then
all
the
at
entire
once,
day,
right? Get Incendious down, and
28
then try
hours, and
and
reset
just hit like
sleep schedule by
everything at once to try
you
and do
know,
it in one
going
go.
to bed in
That is
time and
extremely hard to do in the
getting
first
up in
case.
time the next
So
day.
maybe Kaboom's just making the best of a bad situation at this point.
Yeah, and Fury taking advantage of the full
It's a
board
pro
to
gamer
just
move,
play
it's
a
called.
Dirty Rat that
You should
pulls
try it
nothing.
sometime.
2 mana, 2/6 taunt.
Yeah, I feel like Fury is just
You're gonna try, you're not
channeling
gonna fail in the
Yama
beginning,
approach
but-
here of, no, I still don't need to pull the trigger on the AoE stuff, right? I don't need to clear the board yet, don't need to do the big heal, because after seeing that many hits from the rocks, then it's
I like
just,
just
well,
eating
now the
raw
damage is
food
even
and
more
fruits and
limited, right?
vegetables,
Without the Incendious
doing
being down
that,
yet
making it a little bit
on
less
that
tough.
turn. So yeah, still plenty of time for Fury to sort of restabilize.
I mean, you gotta pay,
almost
but I
on
didn't say
demand.
so. Good luck.
So uses that time to get the Starship piece down, to get the Rat down. It's not too bad at all.
And the more minions are in play, the more life Fury can sort of gain back from Orbital Moon on the Pyro.
It's interesting, right? Because at this point, at least from what we can see, it's not like Kaboom can not play minions, right? Because if you're, oh, I'll just trickle some minions out against Death Knight, well, you're never going to win then, right? Like, you're never going to kill them.
Yeah, it's
just
pretty
a little
smart,
bit. So
actually. That was
the
genius
Giants
that by
have to come
Raven,
down
holy
soon,
shit.
because the longer they don't, Fury will just take it, can just take hits from these, like, little, you know, the Phoenixes and stuff, right?
Yeah, I think Kaboom is sort of.
I
hoping
know
to
he has the
draw
Pyro
out
now. Shit.
the clear. There's probably
It's
a
not
sense
gonna
that.
happen, though, right?
Well, I think there's a sense that okay, there's probably one clear because if it was Corpse Explosion, it would have been used already. So it's got to be Pyro Poison, and there's got to just be one. Although with these two minions in play, you get to clear up the Incendious without having to do any work.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, because the Incendious is just dead on board, right? Double trade, done. That happens, or can happen 100% of the time. And then I think Fury just says, okay, have you 2/2s. Like, whatever. Like, I don't think that's worth committing the Pyro, right? I think that's the worry, and I think maybe a giant had to come down
probably
to
experienced
at
a
least
little
make
bit more.
something happen, because
I am
the only real threat is
8-time
already
legend,
dead.
8-time one legend player. Could
Oh no.
Yeah,
you could
I
really
love
beat
that.
up,
It's just
you
a
have a shot to beat these guys, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, when your opponent is
All you have to do is
so
play
close
these
to
4
fatigue,
5 decks.
right? And
I
you
could do
have
that.
Yeah.
11 damage showing, you're at 40 plus life with more armor in
And,
the
and
defense
this
crystal.
AoE
AoE is
is
going
broke,
to
though.
proc the Arcanite Crystal to give
I
you
wouldn't
the
draw
armor
the
to sort of
Playhouse
regen
Strike, for
some of the
example.
damage from the eruptions anyway. So it's, yeah, no spell damage as you mentioned earlier. The Thalnos long gone now.
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
It's just, again, I'm not saying this would have made a massive difference, but if there was one giant down, I would say that Fury would have had to at least kill the giant, right?
Yep.
It's always
Not been able to
interesting.
push so much damage. What have we got? Gul'dan, Alec.
Oof.
Oof.
I like
Yeah,
killing
none
stuff
of these
by
heroes
card.
are really able to go the long game.
Even Reno's a turn away, right? I would say, you know, Reno generally might feel like the best sometimes here in situations like these, but still it would be a whole turn away as well. This is brutal.
Yeah, I think the premium pick is really that Stalker Rexar. You have some ability to get like floppy Hydras or something that shuffle into your deck. I don't know how often that gets you there versus the plan A, but at least from how we've seen these games go for the Rogue, I almost wonder if there's a world where you just say, hey, I'm going to be Shadow Stepping Maestra. I'm going to get 3 heroes from the past, and sometimes you can get these
Oh, yeah,
changes
just
of the
play
heroes where
one.
it's like, well, I've got
No, you
Carol
don't have
for
to
this
put anything on
weapon
the board
that
right now,
I
actually.
take half damage and I can swing every turn. I've got I don't know what other passive things are, but if you can like an end on Deathstalker Rexar, maybe you guff right for 20 mana somewhere
Oh,
in there.
sure. Yeah, and build some nice beasts, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
that much mana. Now this is the real gameplay we need to see going forward. I'm down for that. Yeah, now there's still a
Oh my God,
giant
it's 6
held
HP.
here, and obviously Fury won't know which hero's been picked up, but like now Fury can get the big heal if he wants. Yeah, and there's the Pyro, makes sense. Then he'll have the Starship follow-up. Now he does have the an additional
Kobe's
AoE.
so powerful, it's
now
kind of
he's
fair
really
in
wants
stuff like
to
corpses.
check it, lock in that health, right?
It's
And
all your corpses.
as full board as you're going to get, heal as much as you can, basically reset the board, except your opponent doesn't have a deck
Yeah,
anymore, which is
I get to legend with my own decks,
just
but like
like
the
that,
Mech
yeah.
Paladin I made, for
Kaboom
example.
just pushed out
Was for discovering the max
of the
possible.
game, and again, I think Fury just getting
That's 6-5, man. That is pretty good, man.
Like, just basically showing us how every single deck
But they
should
drop the
go
shit out of
when it
that.
wins, right? Of just doing all
Or
the
have
good
never
things
played, yeah.
so far with the Rogue and now the DK and Gaboom. I think now he's just in a terrible spot.
Turns out
because
getting a
Druid
full
for
board
Fury
of
has
over
3
4
goals
forests on
to
turn
get
2
one
is too
single
good.
win.
Who would have known?
Yeah, it has felt like Druid sometimes is sort of the weak link of these decks that we've been seeing over and over again, but that is 3 games that Fury Hunter has to draw a Mirdrasil.
Successfully do what? Down throw and then tech chase onto the second
Yes.
platform to get the down throw again? Just go for the
Oh,
free
what gender
confirm.
is that? She
I mean, we're
on.
seeing Amsa just put Zanya in uncomfortable
That's-
spots. Now there's
She
the lead.
anything. Could be anything.
Down smash
Well,
does
she
seem to
make
be
things
eating
in
up
fact
some
easier, doesn't it?
follow-ups from Yoshi here, so that's still going well. It's good that she's still making good use of that without over-relying on it.
This is definitely anyone
bye-bye.
over the age of 20.
Amsa with like just the most calm, poised nod of all time.
Yeah.
The gamer nod. Yeah, I deserve that one.
This is within expectations.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Okay,
Identify
still
my
hanging on to
fighter.
this lead regardless.
regardless. Yeah, and we're seeing a little more struggle
with the
stage guarding Yoshi now that there
top
are
tier
platforms.
tier
FB
list.
looked really good, so that's a big difference that we're seeing here too. Not able to push these advantage states as far.
Okay, that's the fair he wants. Knowing that Zanya has to advance forward.
Yes.
Already in shield, it's pretty safe to go for that
And that
versus when it's just
started.
down smash is showing up.
Yes, and that started from a short hop, just kind of watching and waiting. So you don't always have the DJC right away, and just having that momentum from getting those hits then forces Zanya to maybe come in, say maybe I could hit you if you're DJCing it or you're jumping and waiting. And Amsa says, yes, please come here, much easier. I will gladly take your stock.
God, it had to have felt good for Amsa being like the first Yoshi to really do it like that. Where you're like, I could just counter hit you. It's awesome. And people are like, what's going on? It doesn't make any sense. It's like caveman seeing fire for the first time.
New way to hold down unlocked. We're going to make the most of it. Big parry into the DJC aerial. Zanya very fortunate, no more damage. Down smash covering everything.
Everything else.
To just completely go insane.
Yeah, I was hearing earlier about how Yoshi has, if he's hitting a lower aerial, actually has, pretty good frame advantage, or at least only moderately low frame disadvantage on shield, where he can get out jabs and stuff.
Yeah. And again, that's not even mentioning the fact that he has the egg lane,
There's a shield
which is
grab, though.
unblockable.
Of course, I talk about how frame safe and he gets shield grab for the first time this set. Oh, great.
Nice there. Look at that spacing though for Amsa. Has to dip super
Avoids
low.
the egg.
Yeah.
Avoids the egg, but at what cost?
Yeah, pretty damned if you do situation for
Back
Zanya.
on the stage again. Forward smash only works when you don't mean to do it.
I don't know if Zanya wanted up tilt there. I wonder if he just up tilt as soon as Yoshi spends the jump.
Oh, didn't fastball to the edge. Amsa getting some extra damage. Aims the up smash up, or forward smash up. Big damage. Oh, she's got to be kicking herself for this.
Yeah, to force interactions here on this transformation too, when you're just getting wall bounced, this is tough.
Missing the text, missing the text. Who plays on this tree? Everyone.
Ooh, okay, that was fortunate for Zanya though. Got Amsa spending the double jump and was facing the wrong way.
Smarter than the mirrors of each other.
Ledge grabbed if he tried.
It turns out being more about.
And there's the shield grab again.
Like
That back air was
less
not
about
low, which is why that was
being
punishable.
introverted is smarter.
Amsa was hoping for a
one
shield
IQ
poke
point
there.
on average.
Possibly.
But they're more overrepresented again
Oh,
on
there was time for the spot dodge to come out,
In
but not much
general,
else. Very nice.
introverted is
Amsa
smarter than
adapted.
extroverted.
Shield
Not
grabbed
with two
again.
personality types.
She gets so much off that grab, and that'll do it.
Okay, I like that he just goes for the DI read after, right? Because he went for the up tilt in game one, and then instant goes for down B, but Zanya was holding out that first time, so makes it work, gets the conversion, nice parry as well.
And because of these two, it's actually smarter to be judging.
Looking for a shield poke with that down tilt.
Instead of
Gonna do great with
prospecting.
this fixed knockback. Grabbed again. A lot of shield grabs coming out after I said how safe the aerials are.
actionable.
They can do that good, Amsa.
Oh!
Nice grab.
You thought an aerial was coming. I thought an aerial was coming.
He said, all right, I'm not doing aerials anymore. Check this out.
You're a lot better than me.
It's only
I
smart
thought
to
an
be
aerial was
Jane if
coming.
you're introverted and intuitive. Otherwise, it's stupid as
Once
fuck.
Amsa starts getting comfortable with specifically ground movement, I'm like terrified of everyone else's prospects, right?
Yeah. And we can see that
There's two
Zanya
pretty
actually
smart
got punished there
healers that are
twice for doing a lot
introverted.
of dash dancing, which is kind of unusual.
All
with
three
She, big
on the
chain
left.
gets her down and
up
converts
the-
into the grab.
Oh, but doesn't get it
Or
on the
just the
platform,
left
and
on
it's
the
coming
system
down to
personalities.
Amsa. A little bit of safety.
That chain wasn't working earlier, but it did this time. That's kind of the momentum shift she needs, but
But
double
being part
headbutt.
of the four thinkers, originally very
Is the
smart.
chain the future? Is this 2025 Melee? Time is a flat circle.
It's no analysis that's missing.
Oh, bounces off the tree there. Very nice. Crack the egg.
There it is. At long last, I mean,
The ENT
both
can be
players above
surprisingly weird
160.
sometimes.
Amsa, the
With all the
transformation
famous
helps him
people
out
be
for
weird,
just a
for
little
example,
bit, and
like
then he
Adam
still
Savage.
aggresses in, which is wild to me.
Well, he wants to make the most of it, right?
Yeah,
He calls it
Yankovic.
wrong. Tree. Oh, where'd that tree go?
Cohen. Even the people who are imaginary characters are
A little bit of a circus on the
weird,
ledge.
like Captain Jack Sparrow.
A little bit of a drop tech chase, picks it back up. Yeah.
Caught him.
Wow.
Caught her drift in. That's going to do it. A 3-1 for Amsa.
Well played to him. And I gotta say, he just looked more comfortable. He looked he looked like if he dropped something, he picked it up there on that left platform at the end. He dropped his tech chase, but he did a jab. He did a quick shell drop aerial. Even if it didn't work, he knew he had parry and crouch cancel, which he started to use there on that last stock as well. He was bringing so much together. He was consistently getting his edge guard.
Fantastic. It's a minion-based aggro deck you want to clear, but will the coin pay off more later? After some quick analysis, Fury Hunter decides to commit, and I think I agree because he's got the heal there as well, right? He gets the heal back from dealing with it that turn, and also a lot of the time you just want the board clear, right, against this deck. Just don't let them build up a massive board, especially if you don't have spell damage swipe available.
Yep, and now the file is there, but that is not doing enough damage again without the dollhouse. Probably just gonna toy chest to look for it.
Ooh, okay. Got dollhouse.
Picks it up. Yeah. Play it this turn. Set up for... Let's see. I think the way this would work on next turn is you could activate dollhouse. Woodland goes to 2.
Intelligence is the thing that makes school easier. Everyone who says it doesn't, I would consider the fact that things are a little bit too easy. Oh, he's playing the worst deck I've ever seen.
No improved hero power yet, though. Let's get a bit of a chunky one down, though, with the 4-6. It's going to be a little bit annoying.
The win rate with this deck for Get Home is so good, you can swipe, though.
As well, potentially.
Sparkling fire,
getting
bitch!
down that stats very important because Chalice is a good clear insofar as you have enough to clear everything, but it gets a little bit dicey when you have to start hoping for the right hits.
Yeah, was this double file? Yeah. This is really nice here for Fury.
Oh, it's
again, not
damage.
really having the best opening.
That's a crazy turn, bro. The worst deck in the
chunk of this board, or chunk of this aggression so far, is pretty good, I would say.
You got the Zhuzh, though. It's pretty good.
It's a perfect pickup here, though, to be able to clear both of those taunts.
I mean, you gotta do it, right?
Hey. Oh, right, yeah. For a second, my brain didn't register the double. Yeah,
I mean, Fury Hunter, if he has 3 minions,
each of them
you should have them.
both pirates and undead, so you get the double buff.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, I think that, barring whatever is drawn next turn, I think maybe that jug just saved Kaboom the game.
That is, Fury Hunter was banking on.
Yeah, the INCP is represented among geniuses. The Albert Stylus, Steve Hawking, was not type.
To fully clear away, and that.
Although they're just 2% of the population, they're 8% of the population go to geniuses.
Because without being able to actually clear them, the damage is just delayed so much, and it now has helped by Kaboom a lot because Fury's turn was kind of rubbish, right? It was just ramp hero power pass, which isn't great.
Yeah,
we can see the follow-up isn't that much better right now with just Incendious available.
Yeah,
I want to go face. Will you help me,
Setters? In that Seabreeze Chalice, which is 6 damage spread across the board, not really doing too much unless Fury can pick up a swipe here.
Just a casual Wind Fury, as you do.
Yeah.
And the Doom Hammer, what year is it?
16 Doom Hammer damage.
That's what, 23 damage this
time? That bitch hit with the Doom Hammer!
What am I talking about?
It's terrible trading though. You lose so much health.
Taking the opportunity to silence the overzealous. Swipe is the pickup though. That's pretty massive. I think that gives a full clear.
Yeah, it should do, right?
So, which means that INTJ is the smartest person on average by far, especially with the ES Jane.
Yep, I think that was the best draw in the deck, barring perhaps bottomless toy chest into swipe.
But when it comes to people on the 40 IQ plus, INTP is more common. So you could say that they are smarter, maybe.
Doomhammer go.
It's like it's too fast at problem for sure.
Probably not going to happen this turn, but still, I want to see it.
I think it might have happened, but the imbue kind of changes things.
Yes, yeah, 100%. But because of that swipe, Fury Hunter now does get to at least go for the sleep next turn, right? Like there's at least some light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. Whereas without that clay, that game was just over.
And Gaboom deciding, you know what, I'm going to commit the mana now, just kind of get that clock going. Kind of puts pressure on Fury. Overloaded for 2 next turn.
I think the question is, do you draw first? Like, do you go draw and then probably go into armor for the rest? Or do you just commit triple armor? Surely you draw with this hand, right?
I think given that Fury is not running, the extra draw spell in Burn Down, that it does have to draw at least once.
Ooh, is it draw again? Oh, no. Oh,
no, you've got Oracle. Now,
I was just thinking about, what about draw?
It was a draw,
refresh,
yeah.
You
That's
draw
interesting.
the other dollhouse into
also wrong.
Woodland.
That's too risky.
But that is maybe a stretch too far.
Yeah, you're happy with Woodland for next turn, and I would.
Well, I'm sorry I said the stupidest one, just in case someone is an ESFJ. I can roast even more. It's like, doesn't require, if you want to be a conservative person who minds the feelings of the group, doesn't require any intelligence. Anyways, it turns out the average IQ based on personality types varies between 85 to 109 on average.
Yeah. This is well spotted. It also means that, if the Oracle sticks, he gets to, keep the engines going. And we haven't mentioned it, but because it was the pirates.
Some of these guys, like the
he's taken a lot of damage. Those pirates. Any damage they take, you take as well. So the swipe was also
TJ is conservative 75% of the time. It's very interesting. Just kill yourself.
Acupuncture's gonna finish it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
What a close game.
That boy got acupuncture.
Down to the wire, the exact damage.
Down to the last butt cheek of Parabanshi. I'm just like,
I miss Fury's responses on camera. It always made me laugh. Very entertaining. But Gaboom gets to fight back. Does get the win with the Priest. Such a big win there. Again, the series is still going to be an uphill climb, but as I said, I think the mental reset after the first 2 games was vital.
Yeah, what was kind of clever,
so
like
I think this is now, wipe the
chess
slate
player,
clean to an extent.
That's kind of cool,
got the
right?
win on the Priest, and he probably able to refocus a little bit better for the next 2 games. So really good job there for Gaboom. Bit of a weird game state. I think the swap from Fury was
is
very
another good French name. It's
but
very
the
French.
health swap combined with then the final 4 damage is just
It's like an Olympic, staff,
absolutely.
jumper.
I think it's important to note that this priest deck is the kind of resource generation where, Warlock, you always say tap
High
first.
jump is somewhere intelligent, I don't know.
Resources you have, but because of the recent change to the priest imbue where you're only offered a playable card.
I remember to feel, compared to aliens especially, feel proud of your
want a hero power
endurance
at the very
abilities,
end,
because they are rare.
With no mana remaining, Gaboom is guaranteed to be offered
Among
just
animals.
1 cost cards. And that is a much smaller pool.
It's kind of like torture
to try
and
find that
kind of low, very mild torture. Running animal down, they're like, ooh.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's just good knowledge of the
Can't
deck
go
as
any
well,
further,
right?
you
Just
kill them.
knowing what your outs are in
walk up to
certain
them.
situations, because that hero power can just be a bit tricky to learn
Sit on them
sometimes,
until they
right?
die.
Because it's playable with the reductions as well, so that gets a little bit funky sometimes. But yeah, it's pretty solid there from Gaboom. We're going to dive straight into game number 4.
You don't
Fury,
have the
of course,
strongest
on the Druid again. It's his only deck left.
upper body,
Gaboom
but you
going
still
for the
have
Rogue now, so again,
inventions.
could be a little bit difficult, but
And
it
with
looks like
weapons,
Gaboom will be
inventions,
saving the
wields,
hardest matchup till last, which is the
You end up being the strongest.
But is it matchup or is it just the most coin toss?
That is the hardest matchup to me, yeah. It's like, I think I'd
Kind of
rather play
medium
as the
intelligence.
Rogue than a Druid
Like
Mirror,
30 IQ
honestly.
saying, huh?
Maybe that's more of a mental thing for me than anything else, but Mirror's always the matchups I want to play the least. maybe that's just because I'm bad. Maybe I'm just, you know,
Oh no,
to myself here.
I'm right there with you. I do not like a mirror match, but whether it's, you know, specifically the hardest, you know, data-wise, if you assume you're as good as the opponent.
Wave dash up.
I wanna see that. I wanna see that.
Gonna come in, we can see Longbowman
Oh.
still has a few cards that he can
It's
play
gonna,
there.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real
Either to
good.
Calf switch or to transition to Fortress Edge. On the other side,
A
some
musketeer.
more cannoneers are finally gonna
Sorry,
come
my
to Sanchez
my
Corners
TV's
as well.
zoomed in here.
But still no siege in order to
It's
deal
a
with that
43-inch 4K TV I'm looking at.
much map control versus
It was
those
on
low
sale
HP,
for
low
30% off, that's why I bought it.
right there, and low siege units.
Also gonna get a deal better than that, I thought. The problem is that it's just 60 FPS, like most TVs. So I'm gonna buy another screen for this 180,
It's just not the mass
1080p
or
gaming, or
Ethiopia and, like,
240 FPS or whatever. It's kind of cheap, it's just 160
Yeah, twice the eco,
60
twice the unit right there. We can see Ethiopia is going for a little bit of a last resort kind of
Bing, bing,
push,
bing,
but
bing,
it's just
bing.
not gonna work.
Bing, bing,
There's
bing,
just
bing,
too
bing,
much
bing.
blue right there. The red coats are in blue today, but it doesn't change anything. They just he just
Or best decisions I've made.
right there. Very nicely played by Keto.
These are the things I'm boasting too much, but I think it's very interesting, you know, just to mentioning your setup when it's like that.
G into the G.
So I'm gonna have two 32 inches and one 43. On one of them will be
Daniel
4K.
there with the cannoneers and getting like counter infantry rifling, which is pretty creative, I think. It's just that I feel like he had a window where he could have made like a lot of shots, and he expected the cap switch from Ketcherboy, so yeah, he invested like resources into 10 javelin riders, and yeah, behind that he's just so far back.
I don't really think I'm too
Yeah, he
arrogant or used for boasting.
So he had to make that push work, and well, unfortunately for him, he didn't.
I was looking at the, you know, the ecograph, and we can see.
Yeah, you should just see my tags on Twitch instead. Well, stuff like IQ is mentioned in a cool way.
Do the math on how many. It's basically 35 more muskets here than your opponent.
Buongiorno.
At 13 minutes, like 35 more muskets.
Oh no! You can't do that. Oh no. There goes a giant, and that's, I think, changed a lot this game now.
Yeah, it's.
I was going to say, was before the giant interrupted me, was there ever a world where the minion should have gone into the artificer here? Because you just say, I'm not going to absolutely max draw and actually just try and kill it, but I guess not here from Gaboom. But being a giant down is huge.
Yeah, and a step.
That's a pretty good play, actually.
For
it's not a usual play.
Reducing your next combo here. Yes, it's an extra draw, but it's one fewer that you can.
I can't even take his shit.
Moonstone Mauler.
God damn.
Yeah, being down a giant just means Fury only has to remove one, and usually the advantage of two here is
The
that,
wires
okay,
wrapped
maybe they
around my
remove
foot.
them all at one, but the other one will stick.
Right. And that's actually quite a lot of resources down. Obviously, Gaboom's just hyper-accelerated the card draw, which is the goal here for him, of course. But like you said, dropping a Shadow Step and kind of dropping a Giant, right, because it got burnt, is like you losing that. Those are two very significant resources in the deck.
I would guess that the intention here is, you know, next turn you use your O manager. Yeah, the other thing, like you said, this Artificer staying up, representing some extra armor that maybe just didn't need to stick around.
Yeah, it was just I just don't know if Gaboom could have just been a little bit less all in on the card draw and just killed the Artificer and had a little bit more control, because that's another burn. It's a wisp, it's not the end of the world, but it's still not great. And the Artificer's still alive. So unless there's a Dubious here, or I guess the old manager being used on it to clear it up this turn, but it's 6 armor might not end up being a big deal, but with the resources already blown that has already happened for Gaboom, it could end up being a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, I expect to see the O manager so you can coin out Incendious next turn. And then we're doing, you know, maybe one of the Maulers here to get out both Phoenixes. Oh, just going all in on the Maulers.
Yeah, I think at this point Shadow Step's not going to be used for anything else, right?
I think it's just a question of when, right? Because if you want to sort of Okay, it knocks.
You stack all the damage, right?
So stepping it, but not replaying it.
Yeah. So there's
Okay,
Dollhouse.
I don't have
It's
any
available.
matchups.
Oaken Summons is going to do a similar job,
But I can
though.
miss Delicacy Coffee. Be right back.
One of the most satisfying combos for me. Yeah, there. It's just the Oaken Summons into the Ethereal, into the Beals.
Yep. And yeah, you know, Amidra still going there. Refresh 3 mana, get more 2/5 taunts.
I think this is a May as well situation for the taunts, right?
Yeah.
Now that you've seen the Moonstone Shadow Step as well, sorry.
Kind of good nothing drawn there, because yeah, you're all in on Incendius at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, this was it, right? And this is why the Moonstones weren't replayed. It's just, you need to just front load as many of these spells from the deck as possible and hope it gets enough. You see Kaboom's just like, please, don't kill me.
Don't kill me, and then also, I think I don't want to draw any eruptions until I have played Thalnos, right? Play Thalnos, play Tainted Webweaver, then you draw your Moonstone. Draw, you know, play Moonstone Mauler, do your draws, and hope that the eruptions hit before the rocks.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking because I did have to do a quick lethal check here
Yep.
for Fury because he can trade off the 3/2. There's space for Aulonius, but I don't think so. But Fury's better than me, so maybe he's seen something I've not. Maybe I just can't count. But there's not enough mana to play the file, right? So it just isn't. Was the conclusion I got too quickly.
Yeah, I mean next turn.
Even with the innovate.
Next turn, it's definitely there because of the Mirror
Oh, next turn, yeah, it's nuclear weapons next turn level of damage, I think, from Fury Hunter.
Yeah.
But can Kabumi get through this damage? But that armor is stacked up pretty well, right, with the 15.
Yeah, the real cards remaining are a Wisp and a Preparation, and I think Gaboom wants Preparation off the top. Nope.
Okay.
That's pretty
That's
good.
a big deal.
That's
yeah, that is a big
good.
deal.
And actually,
Naturally drawing is huge.
I almost wonder if it's better to play the Maulers later, like after you get another eruption hit, because right now the probability is such that there's more rocks than eruptions. Did go face though.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
He's got one real card left in the deck, but it doesn't matter, right? 'Cause he's got second Phoenix. Oh my. Okay. Yeah.
I genuinely don't think it's enough, but it's closer than I think Fury Hunter would like.
Yeah. I just don't know. I've got no grasp on whether this is enough.
No, they're all 3s, right?
I'm almost out of cards.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Could he have drawn the eruptions first and then done the? Was there any of the meteorites that hit the minions?
There weren't.
Oh, okay. Did they all go face? Okay.
They happened to go face, but that was more luck than anything else.
Well, they could have. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It could have gone wrong. Yeah. And as far as I can tell, this is 8 million damage.
Yeah, exactly. You go with
This
the flow,
is,
double Dollhouse,
yeah.
file plus sleep. Just the works.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Well played there from Gaboom. Fury definitely feeling it towards the end there. There's nothing quite as scary as being 2-0 up in the series and then watch it and potentially slip away. But Fury Hunter held on, got the job done with the Druid, and that is going to be a victory to Fury Hunter. Really great series. I do think Fury Hunter was a very much deserving winner there. I think he played a lot cleaner. I think Gaboom made a couple of missteps throughout multiple games. Honestly, we saw a few burnt cards that it's hard to keep up with rogue turns, especially because the player is playing them faster than we're seeing them, of course. But there was a few burns going on there that I'm pretty sure didn't need to happen in in a perfect world. Whereas I do think Fury played extremely solid Hearthstone as we are used to seeing. So yeah, really good win there, 3-1 with Fury. We didn't get to see the Druid Mirror in the end, maybe going forward for the rest of the day. But yeah, what a great series overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kaboom will be taking a look at that last game just to see if there was... Anytime you're just 3 points of damage off, you go back and wonder, okay, could I have gotten that somewhere? Maybe if you do clear the 1/3, right? That Arcane Artificer that gained Fury, at least like 6 armor. I think when you're expecting to connect with giants, maybe that seems small, but then burning a giant, it just sort of compounds.
It's the problem, right? Because I think it was it? I can't remember what minion was traded, was pushed to face, but it was either 1 or 2 damage to face, or it could have gone the Artificer, and if the damage to face was less than the armor gained, then maybe it would have worked out a little bit better. But that's for all the pros to go over in detail, no doubt. Probably everyone already watching it already has opinions, which is fantastic. But we can see it Group D, and Fury Hunter 2-0ing out of the group. A bit of a stressful end of that series for him there, but now can relax until tomorrow. So huge congratulations to Fury Hunter. But of course, we do have the rest of the group to go through. We have the next matchup we've got coming up, which is going to be Definition versus Ryan, which I believe I am casting with Lorinda, as far as I'm aware. So that'll be fantastic. I'll have maybe an hour or so of Lorinda tell me how broken Hunter is, and then we'll see it 0-3 maybe, who knows. And then the winner of that will then go on to face Gaboom for the final player to make it through, not only through Group D, but also the final player to round out, I don't know what direction I'm supposed to point now, the top 8 you could see on screen. So there's just that one more spot left. We've got 2 more matches coming up for you, so don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Don't say anything retarded. Don't say anything retarded. Wow, this carbonated poop bar is amazing.
He inched forward and then held down too hard, so the Nano went through the platform.
Black guy winning, that's
But I did miss
Fiction.
the latter end of that.
Oh, Nicky misses his follow-up there. Fiction has been missing a lot of pressure follow-ups on his end, admittedly, but there's a big drop from Nicky, and Fiction just converts off of it into Nana Death, maybe Popo Death.
Nice
That grab? That was incredible.
Yeah.
Maybe did he grab the jab startup? That was really cool.
I was gonna say I
I'm
think
sorry,
you can
Fiction.
flow cancel aerial and then just double jab,
Just kidding.
and then that stops the dash in
Yes.
though from Nicky. So
But that must be something he's labbed, because that had to be very intentional, because he grabbed from too far to get the grab normally on
Sure.
landing.
let's see if it happens again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nicky's
because that
a
was
nice
really
camera play,
impressive.
right? I'm thinking about fucking
Oh, Fiction not wanting to do a forward air to send up his
Trip.
high.
Yeah, he's the Peach
Now
player.
Nicky has a chance.
Wow, and the mix-ups from Ledge as well, twice in a row. Ledge dash shield, gets the power shield on one of those, and then plays aggressive, right? Can play this so slow and up air at 174 after it doesn't kill, but gets it there. I mean, an outplay with Sopo is nuts. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Fiction was kind of putting himself in landing lag as Nicky was coming onto the stage, but still, Peach has low landing lag and still get a lot of pressure out there. So kind of a little bit from both. A little help from one side, great play from the other.
Okay, great DI again. Didn't touch though.
Push out a little bit farther. That'll be
Yeah, alright,
doesn't
I'm
miss
sorry,
the nair
Sean. It
this
sucks
time.
when streamers don't make coffee. It's 5
He's
minutes
just
of
gonna
share
stay on the ground.
time.
They really don't want to be in the air. Every time they
Like
get a
either.
flop like that, very scary for them.
But I can talk to you about the
Between
good
jabs
fucking
as well,
coffee if
really
you would
well
like
played.
that.
That's the
It's
advantage of
synthetic,
larger stage.
fine
That's
ass
That's rule number
establishment shit.
1. Don't jump into that.
Down
So
smash
what's the
does pull
expensive
you
coffee you ever
behind
bought?
unless you hold down and take
At
multiple
like
hits. So that's going to just push them off right there.
800
Nicky, you can see that one jump in just gave Fiction everything.
80
Not being able
euros
to afford to jump
per
in late
kilo.
there. Just thought he was going to do a timing mix-up, but down smash is its own timing mix-up.
3-4 times more expensive than one normal
Wave lane on
coffee.
the right side. Once again, yeah, these ledge refreshes from Nicky, I want to pay attention to if there's like a pattern that's being established.
Damn it,
It's
that's
a lot
good
of defense first, kind of goad Fiction into making an action or retreating some space, and then he goes in with some offense. Shield again.
Makes it back again as well by catching that turnip. Again, Peach can
Damn,
stage guard
this is
really
gourmet
well.
shit
Gets
you're
the
gonna
grab
say.
on the
It
float
really
again.
was in a
I have to
direction.
tell you this. If you want to win
The
this
most
match,
luxurious
Ice Climbers,
thing
this is
I've
what
ever
you have to do.
tasted.
Outplays it this time because Fiction goes for a double aerial.
It's called
Really
slowing, yeah.
nice. That's
From
so
Costa
incredible.
Rica.
It was off
Doesn't
the
really
jab.
make any sense.
Yes.
Like you
Swedish
said.
name.
Yes. Sometimes Fiction's
Does he
and his Fiction's not doing the same thing every time. Sometimes he's waiting. Sometimes he's jabbing. Sometimes he's doing a second float cancel aerial. And Nicky
Rich and
is always there.
complicated,
He's either
just like a
fading back
woman.
or he's making a call out.
Yeah.
Goes for a big commit, doesn't even get punished because Fiction wants to go in.
Maintaining a lead like
It feels
this,
like
even
one
if
of China's
it stays
sister
at zero,
ESFG,
is
but
so
it
huge
seems
for
smart.
Ice Climbers
It's really
Stage
cool,
2
right?
on a stage that's as brutal as
Where,
Dreamland.
So notice he gets
We're
on the stage,
gonna, like,
shields, baits
gonna
Fiction
fist bump it out.
moves
That's
out,
what the
comes
retards do
back
nowadays,
in.
right?
So when Fiction's going to where he was, he's now crossing him up. Really good stuff from Nicky.
Supreme focus from both players right now.
There's the jabs.
Yeah, I
And turned
really
around.
want to see that work again. Like, that was so crazy.
Yeah, but it takes just a complete outplay to do it. You can't wait and confirm it, you have to go.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a hard matchup. Fiction doing a little baiting with the float cancels there. He's trying to get trickier. Very smart. Goes for a full
Grab
save.
out of the fair.
Does a fair.
I'm thinking about
That's a
these
free grab.
impossibly
Admittedly, a
offensive
little bit too
jokes
low of a float on
that
the
they
side
try
of
and
Fiction,
make against
so
handicapped people
Nicky
in
does
this
get the free punish.
Pimp My Wheelchair video.
But again, like, when you're
It's
solo
true.
against Peach, those punishes are so few and far between.
Then
like
he
you
goes
said, you
like,
just have
anything
to
else,
outright
princess? It's so fucking funny.
Good reaction. We actually saw Nicky come in with a
Upstanding
jab
citizen, sitting
beforehand,
down
try
citizen
and
is
keep
stars
Fiction from
sounds
just
good.
waiting because he was noticing some weights. But Fiction comes out of it on top. The last stock for this game for him.
Calling your transformers.
Down air right there. Going to cover a lot of these approaches. There's the
Does your
jab.
dick work?
He's going to back up. No check from Nana.
Oh, the save!
Oh, well.
and set up the desync.
That was cool. I didn't know Nana could do that. There.
Very smart.
Thank you for
Very,
making
very
this
smart.
sweet ride. Thank you for the
He's able to
$10,000.
Able to just float back over. That's the desync up smash. That's good damage though. Next time Fiction gets a nair or a forward air opening, there's the forward air. You got on a platform. Now
Do
they're
you
higher
save
up.
though? Yeah, that's the big question towards these last stock situations. Do you risk your last stock trying to keep the backup climber, or do you just do what has been working earlier in the set? He goes for the save and he gets pushed off stage.
Fiction's downers have been giving him a lot of mileage now.
So
Not
yeah,
so much
so
earlier.
I know it's
There's
gonna
the
do
jab.
against me, but I'm so smart. This like
That dare's a little
they're thinking
problematic.
about, should I say this stupid
Fiction
thing?
can act out of
Or
that
am I
real
gonna
quick.
go like, am I gonna restrict
Okay.
myself or not?
It should be
And
there
then
to
they
do
go
it, but
full
the
out
spacing was
stupid, right?
immaculate.
Little
It
too
has
early.
such a low impact. This is really strange. You
I
failed.
mean, even if he makes it
Air
back.
dodge.
Wow.
Oh, the fastball.
Oh,
you
misses
kill
the
him.
grab. So again, even if you even if you know that there can't be a
I
jab,
would smash pretty good in
right?
that position.
The spot dodge
If
can
Fiction
still be
was
there.
in.
And even if you get the grab, you know, realistically, what are you going to do? Peach can live for so long. So, yeah.
So
But
over
let's
the
see.
Druid decks, as we can see now on screen, of course. But I think this is just it's just the mirror, right? Which is going to be pretty, as often the case in Conquest. A lot of the time, these mirrors can be the defining factor in who gets that
Well, I
huge
think,
step ahead in the match.
This is super huge.
Heather,
though.
I could
will
lose something in there.
argue strongly that Hunter is favoured against the Druid. That's one of the reasons I wanted to bring it. That was kind of one of my primary reasons for bringing it. The Druid can win. There's ways the Druid can beat the deck, even if the Hunter gets a good start. It can happen. The
What's my
Paladin
game Pride Cup?
loves playing against this Druid.
That's my game money shot.
So if Definition loses this mirror, he has got to take on one of those two and probably have to beat the Hunter to get through with his Druid. So this first game is very, very much, it's not do or die, but Definition will feel really bad if he loses this one.
And that's kind of cool to see, actually. Greatest Hearthstone achievement, qualifying for this tournament.
Yeah, it's nice,
And
isn't it?
again, we went over it, yesterday, especially at the start of the show. I'm sure it's covered. We've talked about it on and off anyway, but it is a very good achievement to qualify for this tournament. Although there are multiple routes to qualify, it is extremely competitive and
What the fuck?
it's so difficult when you see the
doing
likes
this,
of like Gabby back-to-back first places and stuff. Like, you've got to go up against these people who've been doing it for a few years and have been the best for
Stone
a
Age
fair
way,
few
I
years
don't
as
have any
well.
ultimate.
So yeah, it is a huge achievement to all the players
Should
who
be the
get
like
to
Harem
this,
then.
and I have no doubts we may well see a good chunk of them in
Don't
the
need
next
a minute for
Masters
that
tour as
one.
well.
We'll literally
But yeah,
say
cool to see
bad
that from
idea.
Ryan. One of the, I'd say, like, when we look at a lot of the other
Officially.
players, one of the newer faces to the sort of general competitive Hearthstone scene overall.
Oh, absolutely.
As well. So yeah, really cool to
Imagine
see that
Gustav
that
ring
is,
here.
he appreciates the achievement.
You
of people's
eat
game here,
bananas
so,
for the taste.
great to see.
8 bananas
But
for the
I do
shape.
agree.
We're
I do
not the
think this
same.
Druid mirror, and we've kind of talked
So
about this across
fucking funny,
other
man.
lineups as well and other players.
I don't
is
think I did it justice enough.
even
Let me
though
show
Druid's
you.
good, we all know Druid's really good. It's a very powerful deck. Getting it over the line seems to be a bit of a common occurrence of what seems to be important for each of the matchups. It is one of the decks that's been discussed a lot of, well, if the Druid gets a win, then they'll be in a good spot, right? As opposed to some of the other decks.
A bit of a victim of his own success, I think, going into this tournament. I think 6 or 7 days ago, people were touting Druid as kind of unbeatable, kind of the best deck. I know Sottle was always on the Cycle Rogue train, but a lot of people were saying that they think Druid might be the best deck. And then,
It's
of
kinda
course,
gay
then
as
when you're
well.
building lineups and you start to say, well, Druid's the best deck, everyone's going to bring Druid, then you start looking, well, what beats it? And then suddenly you end up with a lineup that we've seen with the Paladins, with the Cycle Rogues, with the Hunters.
Yeah, it's called slowing, yeah.
Maybe one band on the
Single
Paladin,
stage
and off you go for the Druid. As a counter
competition
to
series
that,
dons have been on Costa Rica.
our Ryan
Allegro
knows
and a
what to do.
possible volcano.
I spot a tree.
But yeah,
Botanic
it's largely a victory of
variant.
his own success, I think.
Yeah.
Ryan has
Process
the tree.
berry
Definition
dry,
has
sweet, complex, and
nothing.
elegant.
Yeah, this is going to be a full
Leche,
throw, and I imagine
apricot,
for Ryan that's a full throw except
orange
for the tree, of
flower,
course.
AeroPress,
so that's
brewery.
okay.
Yeah, you absolutely want the dollhouse the second you've got the tree. You really all in on finding that mana, because you know you're going to get the cards. Then you just need to get that spell damage and off you go.
Well, I was just saying to Edelweiss as well,
I
when we were talking about Druid.
grinded beans,
I
hot
feel
home.
disappointed every
100.
Druid game I don't play Dollhouse on 1, because it just sets you up for the rest of the game so well that it's, even though it's not the end of the world not to play it on turn 1, I think just when you have it to just go turn 1 Dollhouse pass, you're like, yes, this is going to be a good game of Hearthstone. But getting new heights available here for Ryan off that draw, going straight into a Madrasil and being able to hold that coin is huge.
Yeah. Now he also gets to. Well,
It feels like I've seen offensive jokes from one of the shadows. Please
press your third
come back.
one turn quicker as well, just in case people are wondering why you don't hold it ever. Oh my goodness! Oh, he's got to go with the flow as well for next turn.
I really don't.
Definition
Look
gonna
down
respond
on
with
people with
not quite
autism.
a tree level time here, but does have the ethereal to draw some cards at least and get rid of the artificer as well.
Yeah, it does more than he probably realises he did. All he wanted to do is play a spell so he could draw his cards, but actually it stopped Ryan from playing Go with the Flow, double Woodland Wonders.
Right.
Or Go with the Flow, more likely
Play things up differently in the mirror.
And look for cards. Or all of them with a coin. I mean, it's really made a mess of Ryan's turn.
Yeah. Is it just a
Definition's got the webcam on the
tricky,
table.
right? Is it just hard cast Woodland?
I think it is, because then next turn you're probably going to have something to go with a flow on.
I think it's either that or Discover, right? This could be Discover, see what's going on, and then go from there.
If you get the Wonders stick, you can double Discover next turn, or Discover with get 2 cards.
Well, I'm just thinking if you discover a dollhouse, you can still do the Woodland, right? So
Yeah,
it's
sure.
but there's ups and downs, right, to all these plays. That, like you said, I think the removal there from Definition really put a dent in this turn from Ryan.
Yep. So he's just not going to panic. He's going to take it nice and steady, which is something I was advocating
So do you
yesterday
hide
for a
something you
lot
want?
of these decks, even the Rogue deck. You do have a little bit more time than you think. You don't have a lot of time with any of the decks in the mirrors at the moment, but you do often have an extra turn to what you think. So just taking stock and going is fine. I'm also curious to see if he just coins out Incendious next turn and says you can't kill that.
Yeah, true. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. We were talking about other plays that could be made for like the long shots, but it's important to remember, yeah, Ryan has a Madrasil and Definition does not. So you're already that step ahead, right?
Yeah, I don't think you could out the Incendious. It's too risky that you draw
Well,
some
I can
of
take that because
eruptions where you're this far in front, so you probably don't
True
do
stuff.
it, but it's tempting. He will probably just use the toy chest, look for stuff, draw 2 cards from the location, then something will happen, and then he'll play the rest of his cards.
There's also a ton of just good natural draws from the start of the turn, right, that can dramatically improve his turn. That's not really one of them, though.
No. It's a very
Oh,
good
you've seen
card
this
in the
here?
context of what he's trying to do, but I imagine he just plays the toy chest now. He might be tempted to Woodland Wonders, go with a flow and get double toy chest, but I think that's too convoluted. I think you just play it and see what you get.
Yeah.
I think he's so far in front. Like, Definition has nothing on the board at all, so Ryan's going to feel so far in front, he just don't want to risk the eruption thing.
Yeah, I think Ryan doesn't... It might feel good to be greedy because of a Madrasil, but I feel like it doesn't have to be that greedy. Like, I think just discover first and go from there seems fine. On the other hand, he might think that because Definition's not done that much, if Incendious comes out and there's removal spent and a turn maybe spent dealing with Incendious, is that also just great? Right?
You can put the go with the flow on it when he clicks the button as well to play the Beatles. It's sort of pointed out, which
Yeah.
So he has got the extra spell damage on there. Oh!
Well, could let that marinate a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You did
Needs to
marinate
hit
for that.
2 of the eruptions though.
Yeah, but I think he's in a position where it's not the end of the world, right? I feel like the eruptions are just bonuses at this point. I feel like he's so far ahead.
Everyone brought you down to fear. You guys
Yeah,
suck.
he's like an Aulonius away from a good time, right? Like,
I mean, he's going to get some chip damage in as well from these minions, you would
and
expect.
he held on to the double discover, which he can, I'll say, very likely do next turn.
And it's getting less important now he's got the dollhouse anyway.
Yeah.
He's going to get 7 in there, he's going to draw a load of cards.
It's just, and then on the flip side, Definition's just got a whole lot of nothing, right? No, like, game progression cards, let's say. There's a lot of the spells, a lot of the removal, a lot of the
They're going to get pushed to the edge or take the up smash.
Knockdown. This is middle of stage. What's the mix-up here?
Could just be...
The saves are equal.
Nice.
I think the turn is what he's...
Either didn't have time to do it, didn't execute, didn't matter.
When the SDI is too good. Calls it out. Again, Ices can wave dash straight to the edge from that position right there, so that's a big mix-up. Again, just so much clean Sopo play. So much clean single climber play. Getting out of this situation and really keeping him in the game.
I think Nikki losing stock second there matters a lot for this set too, right? Like you need to make sure you're slightly winning in the war of attrition now if you're the Ice Climbers.
There you go, drill shining in, something I was supposed to be wanting to see more, but regardless, misspacing a back air on shield, gonna get punished. Whoa. So we can see these full hop is in really aren't working super great. That's why we're bailing out a little bit. Up smash getting punished yet again. That's gotten him punished a couple times earlier. They're gonna be spacing going farther away.
Wow, way to cut that one off early from Nikki as well. This is gonna be a solo climber edge guard. Okay, the block comes up. The Nana's not up in time though.
Holding center. Nikki's been holding center so much, not wanting to get the climbers pushed off stage like it's been happening some.
Oh, he's swinging.
Now we're in the corner.
He's swinging.
But reversals. Not what Fiction wants. They're synced up again.
Oh,
wow.
That's a stop.
So many missed up smashes. Nikki is thrilled about that. Just barely evading right outside Fox's range. Great play. Finally commits with the back air. Still no punish.
And the efficiency that we've seen Fiction in taking out the backup climber has just been like erased in an instant.
Yes.
Nikki completely locking this one down now. Does he go to save the backup climber? Doesn't even need to. But puts it in a precarious situation.
Not dead though. Percent still low. Oh, misses again. Very fortunate. Very nice blessing from Fiction.
Oh my gosh. You wouldn't want it any other way, right?
Last stock, last game.
Okay, spacing out. One grab can decide it all. Knockdown can decide it all. A
full hops
shine
are getting punished.
Can decide it all.
Running in.
If I'm Nikki, my feet are glued. Those crampons are staying in the middle of the stage. There's a shine off stage.
Running shine.
It's going to be solo climber to do it.
After full hopping so much, the running shine gets so much value, but so...
Down, misses the grab.
Push
Gets
off.
the leg. That's the best case scenario.
Oh.
Holy moly. Okay, up throw, back air.
No punish. Doesn't get the landing again. Maybe this time.
Oh,
There's
no.
the up smash.
And it's enough.
Wow, that's barely enough.
Look at Fiction.
Insane finish.
With the Peach counter pick for the first couple of games.
And then on Final Destination, a stage where you think Peach would do her best, stays Fox, warmed up, and clutches it out.
Wow, what a set. I thought, look, it was looking a little bit awkward, especially when Nikki was getting put in the air.
And Ryan, in my opinion, is now in a really strong position to go through.
And yeah, I cannot wait to see how Spain is going to navigate the matchup because usually, as I said, I'm expecting, for example, a Musketeer semi on the side of France, or maybe a CAF semi, and how is Daniel going to be able to survive the pressure while keeping his game plan moving forward? That's really my big question right there. Is he going to be able to, and how is he going to do that? So yeah, we gotta see.
Yeah, I think which of those runs depends on what Spain does, basically. I mean, yeah, the fastball choice is going to be the choice, like 80 to 90% of the time, although people recently played some H2 Spain recently, so
yeah,
could be an option. But yeah, as France, if you see Spain going forward tower, I'm pretty confident that you should probably do Musketeer semi and, siege it down. That's huge. If France gets this, then they get a really solid 12-10.
Guys.
Last hit, last game. So I mean, really well played.
Yeah, of course. I nearly said, yeah, 100%, and then realized how silly that would sound. Yeah, 100% agree. But yeah, it's still not looking too great for Definition. I think Ryan as well, just from seeing him play there, had a really good sort of grasp of the match. Didn't overly rush anything there on the Druid. Obviously, it looked quite one-sided anyway, so it's easy to say, oh, you played well in this one-sided game. But I think, you know, the choices that were made when he had multiple options to go.
35 wood. On top of that, he has all his HP on his Explorer, while Spain doesn't, you know. One of the strengths for Spain, having a better Explorer than your opponent. That's not going to be the case in this game, and so...
I have not seen Holiday compete in a while. Admittedly, I have not been at a major in a while as well. I was racking my...
Comes to a game like this. He's still not edging right there. Huge swing from that treasury. Basically, almost a 30-second swing in favor of Kettlebell right there. So absolutely huge to get that treasure.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel's even 16 villager here.
Yeah.
Which is a feels bad man in Spain. He's like 2 wheels behind France in terms of age of time. And yeah, okay, you went 3-wheel capitalism, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
France got a really standard deck.
It's looking very standard. Still Panish Gold. He has the Marvelous Year. He has the 1000 core.
Well, that's an H2 deck for sure.
But that's an H2 deck, and we can see here Recon Twister and House of Trastamara. So we are gonna see some H2 right there on the side of Spain, while on the side of France, we can see a lot of crates. So he's ready to play in H2 as well. We don't have a lot of H4 card, which is something we have seen a lot more recently. The 4 CDBs are already on the way, which is insane. Look at the timing, guys, and the 4 CDBs, they are gonna arrive at 420 basically, which is crazy as fans to have that much eco early on. And you can see already the upgrades coming in, already the church coming in. Behind this, it's gonna be yet another card. What is it gonna be? At that point, it's like France has got more shipment than his opponent, which is playing Spain, which is crazy to think. We can see 700 wood coming on the side of France. Daniel, you can see he cannot send his third shipment yet, while France, the third shipment is already on the way. That's how much that treasure contestation right there in the early game swinged the actual game right there. Outpost Wagon going forward, which is interesting right there, because his opponent is for sure gonna start placing some stuff on the ground. We can see racks, and that's likely gonna be either a musket semi, or he's just gonna go full H2 if he identifies that his opponent is going into H2 as well. We are gonna see.
Yeah,
Still getting
I think you probably play full H2 France when you realize Spain is playing H2. I feel like France is just gonna do what Spain does, but they're gonna do it better. Pretty much.
I kind of have to agree. The only thing is, we should not underestimate the power of Reconquista. That's the only thing. Reconquista can be a huge swing into a game, but in order to have Reconquista, you need to lose a lot of archaic units. I'm not sure Rodeleros are considered as archaic. I am absolutely sure that pikemen and crossbows are. So normally you have to go pikeman crossbow, and then you can go into Reconquista a lot later. Double wax is going to be thrown, and we can see musketeer, which are not archaic units, so they
You
are
put
not
the barracks halfway, so your soldiers don't have to walk half the, you know.
At all into this game, but we basically have one racks,
Ketchup boy.
two raxes, sorry, on the side of France. So yeah, France is gonna commit into H2. It's gonna be H2 into H2, and I have to agree with you that I think France does it just better.
The battle of the shittiest musketeers.
Such a good start right there on the side of France.
Yeah, for sure.
8 crossbows, 15 musketeers. Look at the mass difference.
Well, you should get the barracks.
Moly. Yeah, you have 10 musketeers and 4 dogs. I have 8 crossbows and 15 muskets. Come at me, boy. The Explorer going down.
Spain's gonna be on the back foot up until 7 rods arrive. But yeah, even with that, I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough.
Rods?
You will need to snare and then cover mode probably.
Yeah, because the rods are not sure they are gonna get the snare. But are they going to be able
Why are you
to
making
clean up
rolls
everything
against
right there? I am
musketeers,
not
man?
sure.
This,
We can see
the
more
fights
of
are
those
the
crossbows are
shittiest
coming
melee
at the back.
weapons, Rodello's
As long
sword
as the
and
musketeer
the
are in front and the
musketeer.
crossbows can safely kite
I forgot what it's
right there.
called.
The Rodleros, we can see all of those Rodleros are getting cleaned up. The crossbow mass has not been touched. And so at that point, I think France is still in a perfectly fine position. He has enough musketeers still, and the crossbow mass is just going to reign supreme.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the Rodero shipment from Daniel, but
Bayonet.
I'm not sure about the batch of 10 rods. But
Playing Bayonet down, so that helped.
Now it's just so far behind into the actual ranged infantry war, or just musketeer count in general. And yeah, not sure how he catches back onto that. I'm pretty sure France could even sneak up an H-up at any point.
It's amazing
now.
how well done King DDT in Smash. Ultimate. You see the every match I go into the game thinking this guy is terrible. I keep counting all his flaws and I'm fighting with him. I'm like, slowest jab in the game, slow frame data. But I still win, you know, until I'm top 10. I'm so good with King DD, and watching any other player I've ever seen is like, nah, you're lagging behind, lagging tail. You're slow as fuck.
Into, for example, some cavalry, thanks to that and thanks to those 500 wood that he has in the bank. Are we gonna see a switch into a SARS?
They played him like they're fat in the head, you know? They're actually like a fat penguin, you know?
Maybe he doesn't plan on spending it. We can see no extra batch right there.
Heavyweights is the fun part of fighting games in the chat. Watching and playing is the good.
It might be just for mass production.
Yeah, it might be. Or you might decide to cancel an H if
The table is gonna lose against Ketterboy again.
I mean,
yeah.
I think both work, as we mentioned. I like what he's doing though. He's, you know, pushing a little bit, showing his army. I mean, there's no resistance from Daniel, so yeah, exactly. He's gonna siege 1 rags, probably the tower, and you know, keep queuing Musk.
I do have some
if he needs
sugar.
them and cancel them if he doesn't. And
Coffee sugar I bought just for the coffee. I could fucking put that into the fucking coffee, man.
Very, very nicely played right there. Daniel
Nullify some of that antioxidants.
He has to, and really the crossbow mass here, reigning supreme. If you cannot contest that crossbow mass, there is no way you can stay onto the map, and that's what just happened right there. Ketterboy is gonna keep pushing forward because if he's extra confident, we can see that he's securing even more TP at the back of this. Quite impressive to be fair.
Yeah, and he's, I mean, you know, it's a bit scary to push while you're aging, but he's got the right read, right? Because Spain is aging, and I must say, like, I'm not a fan of this Spanish H2 play, especially since Haza already cheesed Ketterboy in this matchup once in the last tournament, so yeah, Ketterboy is not gonna fall twice for that thing. And yeah, I came with a proper counter reveal here.
Scout popping, Minutemen popping, we can see a lot of musketeers right there. I like what he's trying to do, getting rid of that crossbow mass, which is exactly what is gonna happen. And so now the musketeer can just move forward, but there is still more musketeers on the side of Ketterboy. Yes, there is more musketeers. Ketterboy is gonna have veterancy very soon. Is it gonna be the case for Daniel? No, Daniel is not gonna go for veterancy. Instead, he's gonna go for some skirmisher right there, while his opponent is going for the 2 falcons right there. Musk falcons for France.
Yeah, I mean, he got away by just stacking his crossbow, which I don't think he cares too much at this point anymore. And yeah, taking that musk probably already, and just going musketeer cannon so far. Probably will mix some scums later. Yeah, there's like a bit of chat, a bit of discussions in the chat regarding like, is it a cheese, is it not, is it legit, is it good? I don't think France struggled versus that, but
yeah,
it's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, France in general doesn't struggle versus a lot of things in this game. At least
infantry attack.
We struggle with ourselves, you know. That's the story of France. If we are talking real world, but when it comes to this game, yeah, France doesn't struggle versus a lot of things. At least what I mean by this is you have answers to pretty much everything as long as you scout properly and you take the right decision. And that's why pro players love France, because like there are a few thieves that come to you, but really I have a hard time thinking of one and to really say France has no answer in this matchup, which is quite a perk for a thief in an RTS game. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like French in a nutshell, right? It's like decent at everything, but not great at anything either. But like the ceiling raises with the player skill as well.
Careful what you're saying, mate. We are
Penis. Sorry.
That
was on.
not gonna die
was a habit.
That one. But as we can see, Cowboy is moving forward. He has a lot of skirm, more skirm than his opponent. He has double fact. He has 33 veteran musketeer right there. And I don't see a lot of answers right now on the side of Daniel. Maybe lances, maybe he's counting on a big lesser pop. Here we can see some villager being picked off. Eesh.
He just sent 1k wood, so it's gonna be a while before he can contest these cannons.
Yeah. 1k wood for what? Are you gonna go 2TC in that situation? I don't know. I don't think so. He needed some wood for houses, but does that justify 1k wood? I'm not sure. And that's gonna be the 2 falcons. That's not gonna be a lancer shipment right there. It's gonna be 2 falcons. More houses coming up in the north. He wanted to go up north right there, but he saw those Coureurs des Bois and he went back.
Coureurs des Bois, hein? That's how real Frenchman says it.
That villagers are here,
A
and I
coup
wouldn't
de
be
leche.
surprised if we see a batch, for example, of Coureurs
Coureurs
just
des
straight here in a few
Sorry,
in a few seconds.
the restart my brain, they had an error.
On the side of Kettleboy.
Yeah.
When I restarted with coffee.
Well, now he knows where like a lot of the Spanish eco is. He could just shift his pressure off to that location now that he did damage, or just maybe spare 5 muskets and go right deaths. I don't think he needs more than his current 35 to 40 musket.
There you go.
He's just gonna send 10, yeah.
Indeed.
But Daniel has to win the Falconet trade if he wants to get back into this game, I feel like.
Oh, fight here, we can see Falconets on Falconets. Oh, a Falconet is gonna survive on the side of Kettleboy thanks to very, very good micro right there. And 1 Falconet still up, it's gonna
very good microwave,
army. There is way too many musketeers right there. Yeah, I mean, that is gonna be a big GG. I don't see all
wow, that wasn't even close.
On the north side as well, there is an absolute massacre right there, as we can see, and
that
Musketeer just march forward with the support of some skirmisher.
But those skirmishers are really fucking good against Musketeers, though.
Look at that beautiful blue right there.
They have infantry attack as well, so both his skirms and muskets do more damage. And yeah, GG. Well, a really solid French display of Kettleboy here.
Look.
Q's Hunter next because I just want to see more of it.
I
see it
do
actually
too,
start,
like,
but
yeah,
I want the out.
I think there was a lot of good adaptation on both sides. A lot of times where one side was dropping and the other side was dropping. So it really did feel like this was a very even match in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I hope Maelstrom doesn't come out of this too frustrated because it really could have gone his way.
Sure.
But also good job to Holiday.
I would assume that was for 49th or 33rd.
Okay.
Probably just based on where we are in bracket. I forget what round of losers it said that was, but hey, good showing for Maelstrom overall, right? Like,
yeah.
Nice job.
Yes.
Holiday did a great job locking that one in, but I'm with you 100%. It definitely could have been a 3-1 in the other direction.
Yes, and of course Maelstrom could have hit more of his juggles. He could have hit more of the guaranteed situations he had, his follow-ups and things like that. And of course Holiday could have done more of that as well. But yeah, I mean, great set. I really do think that, I think sets like this are important because even though this is for such a deep bracket set, this still shows people that, like, yes, melee players are getting better and better, but like, especially when you're in tournament, but even when you're like executing well and you're playing against someone who's just, really around your level and pushing you, stuff happens and they're going to make you uncomfortable.
Nothing to watch on 3 channels. Okay, shall I look at this? This is pretty cool. If you buy Amla, gooseberry powder of the internet, you get usually cholesterol 35% per month, the highest of anything. Quarter of a teaspoon. Yeah, they say a tenth of a teaspoon works as well as soap corn. It's as good as diabetes medicine. It is very good against cancer. It has all the antioxidants you will ever need. Amylase on average is the single most antioxidant-packed whole food on the planet. 1 teaspoon of gooseberry powder costs about 4 pennies and produces 1,005 units of antioxidant power, which is more than the average person gets in an entire week. Antioxidant. It's even healthier than blueberries, maybe.
And then, you know, I think over lockdown, I think HBox was not the biggest fan of online.
I just had some.
Whether you think the reasons are legitimate or not, that was the case, and I think that really, you know, put him behind
Is
in a lot
that
of ways.
one HBox horse
you know, I
box?
think.
I just said I wanted to watch some.
Then I
It
think,
was
you know,
time,
balancing
you know?
content and competing was an
I
issue for
didn't
him
beat
as
the
well later
crap out of
on,
some
and now
little
I think
fox.
just now.
The match is supposed to be good, you know.
Now
but
I think he's
they've been telling him,
finding his
people have
stride,
been
he's
saying
finding
that
his
Xbox
balance.
for 10 years.
I know last year he was saying he really
Pop
wanted to
off
win
charging up.
Supernova, and he was like training a lot for that, and it didn't really go well. And so I think that's actually encouraged him maybe to really give it even more of a shot, practice for even longer. And I think we're really starting to see some results this year, incorporating new tech, hitting his RTC rests more and more often. You know, making sure he's doing more mix-ups on his edge guards. Whereas before, for example, against maybe Zane, you know, Zane would make it back every time. That's no longer the case.
Right.
And so I think, you know, there's a lot that's happening for him. You know, and I think he's even getting seated higher and higher now, looking like he might be a contender for this.
At this tournament. Like, he has a very good path projected, Brad.
And yet, I believe if he's is this winners?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is going to be very important to keep that going. And I think this is important for him to, you know, keep that going, because this is that he's probably usually going to win.
Yeah, and this is, I looked off for a second because I remember that Nikki brought HBox to Game 5. I believe it was at Eggdog Invitational, and I was just double checking the head-to-head to confirm that. He did, and he stayed Ice Climbers for the whole.
And Jarvis showed up on a farting clip.
To Fox, importantly. I think this matchup is really bad for Ice Climbers. It's not as bad as Peach, obviously, but there are a lot of similar facets to the floatiness of Puff and Peach that make it just quite difficult for Ice Climbers to compete. But Nikki is one of those players who, again, he took Zane to Game 5, didn't quite close the distance. He took HBox to Game 5, didn't quite close the distance.
Yes.
Then he beat Zane. Yes. Then he beat Cody. HBox is still
Someone DDoSing
on the list of those players he needs to beat, and he's the highest seed he's ever been in the last few years. actually. So it's crazy to see. I mean, you mentioned as well,
Yeah,
like the
okay.
importance of HBox having a coach.
I have to restart the stream to see if I can fix the lag.